Won't even really wait too long. We'll just go live. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. It's time for the monthly comic book review show. And with me, I got Jim from Jim Mint Collectibles.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me. I'm excited. It's a reunion of sorts. Don't get to talk to you as often as I used to. That's right. My bad too.
We used to have weekly video chats.
Yo, weekly, and it was like, we were working. It was like working with someone. Like that was my work buddy. But I'm here. We're reliving it right now, and I'm just like I told you guys backstage. I'm hoping as we talk about these books, I start remembering more and more and more because I didn't get a chance to really prep.
Yeah. Don't worry, they don't. The audience, they don't remember the books either.
Right? I count on them to correct me, man. Like what was the guy's name?
Yeah. So everybody in the chat station, let us know when you get in here. What's up, TM Nerdy? I see, and Billy and Brando from Comics Kings. We also got Nick from Comic Culture. What's up, Nick?
What up, station? What's going on, brother? Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
There you go.
All right. Verno, what's up, man? How you doing?
What is going on, people? Happy to be here. I missed this show the last couple months, so stoked you brought it back, man. I was looking forward to this.
Yeah, we didn't do one in October, November, or December.
Well, damn.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
3 months
I thought
away.
I was slacking off, man.
me and Nick were trying to figure out, is it our fault?
Was it us?
Wait, they bring us in, and then all of a sudden, we're waiting on Bullseye Bob and Bueller, but I don't know if they know how time zones work or whatnot, or maybe they're working on the bus. Who knows? Maybe they'll pop in. They should, But anyway, we're going to be talking about our favorite comic books of the entire month, okay? And we'll just start going through the books, and we'll start talking about them. There will be spoilers revealed, so if you haven't read a book and you don't want it to be spoiled, it means you're shit out of luck if you just want to keep watching. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick it off. Jim Mint, what was one of your favorite? In fact, what was your pick of the month? What was your favorite one?
Pick of the month. Pick of the month is tough. Can I tell you my 4 picks of the weeks first?
Like your 4 picks of each week, or your 4 picks of the week?
So my pick of the weeks was all DC comics.
Oh, wow.
Dark Knights of Steel. I forgot what issue, the one that came out this month. Robin and Batman, Batman the Knight, and then the Batman Catwoman special. So the pick of the month for me, easily the Batman Catwoman special book. I think
missed that.
Anybody can pick that up and read it. You don't have to have any prior knowledge. If you have prior knowledge, it helps a little bit because it's just that much better, in my opinion. And I'm not a Tom King stan. I like what I like. Some things I do like, some things I don't. Love the hell out of the whole Batman Catwoman miniseries that's still ongoing, but that's special. Not even because of that, just because it's a self-contained origin, beginning and end of Catwoman's life, man. So that's my favorite. Robin and Batman as a whole, as a completed miniseries, I really dug that by Jeff Lemire. And is it Daniel or David Wynn? Is it name? Dustin. I know. Dustin Wynn. Love that combination. I loved how much they covered in 3 issues. Like, my man went to outer space and had a whole thing with the what would be the Teen Titans, but in this self-contained, like, I don't know, that was like a 10th of a story, if that makes sense. It was like out there, man. So for like a completed series, and then look at for the ongoing series, Dark Knights of Steel, it's still going on right now. I loved every issue. I love the lore, the whole, you're gonna say Game of Thrones, but the way that they did it, it's unique. It doesn't feel like a ripoff Game of Thrones to me. It feels like this dope ass Dark Knight story. And then with Batman the Night, it just got started. It's a little bit slow, right? But I trust what Chip Zdarsky's doing, and he's planting those seeds for this kind of new Batman Begins type of book. If that's the right one I'm remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of other books that I want to talk about with you guys, but for me, those were the top pick of the week each week, and then pick of the month, Batman Catwoman special.
I love the Batman Catwoman special because
I love to hear that.
It does work very well as a one-shot comic. And like I was telling people in my video, even if you haven't been keeping up with the series, check it out, right? And it's each page is Selena Kyle at a different point in her life on Christmas. And it's telling her entire story from beginning to end, pretty much.
And what's tight about the Christmas thing is that's from the miniseries as well, that you don't necessarily need to know that, but it kind of is like, oh, that ties in nicely because they start off every one of those single issues from the miniseries with a Christmas Carol, right?
Yes, right. And so it's a Christmas book that's already spanned 2 Christmases. So it's because
I was gonna say,
right.
Imagine if that would have really came out like a month or so ago, like or right before Christmas. That would have hit hard too.
Exactly.
But I told you, man, because we're talking spoilers, right?
Yes.
The death of Bruce Wayne. Come on, man, that had me a little bit. So Vernal didn't read it, so you know that this is a spoiler.
It's all
so
good.
You fucked up
It's
already.
just, in an alternate future, Bruce Wayne does.
Sorry.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
He's said to be dead at the beginning of the whole thing. Though his death launches the whole narrative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So all right, cool. So hit me emotionally, man. That's what really, me, Robbie and I, every time we did a video, when something could make me feel that, and I think Robbie agrees, probably everyone else. Okay, you did your job, man. That's a good book right there. So pick of the month for me.
Hell yeah.
And the other thing is that, the book was late because the artist had passed away, John Paul Leon.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's right. And then he had help. That's why there was all the five creators on it or whatever.
Exactly. So they had other people come in and work on his breakdowns and kind of, they had Bernard Chang. And then everybody, those pinups at the end, they were all not just random Batman Catwoman pinups. They were like tributes to JPL, which was really
that's a tough ass book, man. Think about what's behind it as well.
Yeah, no kidding. That's actually a really good pick. I'm curious to see you guys have any thoughts on those other bat-centric books, because all of those are kind of bat-centric. We've been talking about too many Batman books, but
I have other books to talk about, but those did happen to be the pick of the week. Those weeks, they've just been strong. People complain, and myself, it's not so much as a complaint as it is an observation that there's a lot of Bat titles out. Right. But to me, it's like Robbie, I know we read most of them. Yeah, I'm sure you guys might as well. Most of them are hitting hard, man. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, they're good,
Yeah.
And I have that idea that everybody in their head has a Batman pitch, right? So when you get the chance,
all works.
Like any of these creators, they got a Batman pitch. It's one of the first ones you come up with, right? What were you saying, Verna?
Yeah. Oh, I was just, first of all, I love the crap out of them. That was if we were getting to the DC pick, it was debating between these two right here, that Batman the Knight and Robin and Batman. They're both hot fire, but I was like sitting there really thinking before, like, what is it? Why Batman? Why do we all love Batman so much? And why can we see the same story over and over again and still be into it? Like, Batman Begins, my favorite Batman movie, and I've seen his origin. They've redone this 100 times, or just even like him growing up, him as a kid, but I can read it again and I love it again. The same thing with Dick Grayson over in Robin and Batman. But yeah, Batman the Knight, I actually just reread that one or flipped through it right before we got rolling. And it's one of those, like, you see it come up, like, God, another Batman series. And Nick, I know when I was talking to you, we're like, what is Chip Zdarsky? Like, picking it up.
Yeah. You're not going to give it a try? Come on.
Right.
Not bullshit.
You can't go wrong with it. I don't know why it's so, I don't want to say easy to write it, but why is it like, the chances of someone writing a good Batman book seem to be higher than like anybody else out there, so they just keep throwing them at us. You know what I mean?
Well, and they're putting great creative teams on them. You just mentioned. Right. I mean, I'm not going to not read Jeff Lemire on Batman. It's just not. It's not.
Or Andre Sorrentino with Matt. What's his name? Maslin Thomas or some shit.
Tomlin.
Right.
Yeah.
Joshua Williamson. I'm going to read it. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you have an unknown creative team, which they're probably not going to do on a Batman title, but it's just like the creative teams are just it's just irresistible. So of course you're going to pick it up. And we can hear that origin over and over again. It's kind of the core of the character. It's a great archetype, right? So it's just a guy forged from tragedy, overcoming the odds. He's creating a symbol for himself. It's all about symbolism, and it's all about kind of, getting back out there and getting back up when knocked down. And so it's just a compelling story at its core, and there's great teams on it. They're finding a way to make it relevant every single time, and we're just buying it up. Right. And it's just great.
Yeah.
It's great.
And they put in the top-notch creators. They got their ideas. You can tell the same story with Batman over and over. I loved all those books you mentioned, except for The Knight. Like, I didn't really dig on The Knight. I might want to reread it, but like,
it felt very Batman Beginish. It was very similar vibes, but that's why it's like, okay, good start. It wasn't bad, right? But like, okay, now you got to start going out there a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's what it was. I was like, it's like Batman Begins. They even brought in their own I don't remember the name of the character, but the Katie Holmes character. They even brought their own version of her in.
Yeah.
And didn't they have the one from the Batman 89? What was her name?
Vicky Vale?
Vicky
Vale, but there wasn't another one too? Am I tripping? Or was this a different Bat book?
She was in something recently. Vicky Vale.
There was another one. Like, what was the name of the chick in Batman Forever with the masks?
Chase Meridian.
Isn't that in the comics now too?
She's in Detective right now, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it is. All right, my bad.
Man, nothing's happening in that one though, really.
Yo, and I didn't even read the last issue. That I've been loving that title a lot. Some people don't. I see in my comments. I love it. This arc, I'm not loving. This is the first arc that's a little slow. It feels like it's time killer before something is going to happen almost, right?
Yeah.
Right. I read the first 2 issues. I fell behind, but I liked the first 2 issues. You're talking the Arkham Tower.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay.
The first 2 were decent.
I guess it started okay. I guess we got to see where it goes. I didn't get to read this week's issue of it.
It's just like all over the place. So like in the first issue, they're like, oh, and then they jump like 20 days and they're like, the shit has hit the fans and everybody's just like,
it already hit
like,
the fan. I thought it was going to build up a little more than that, right? Like this is going to be the one that it's not going to hit the fan. Boom, it hit the fan.
Yeah, it hit the fan and then it goes back in time. And now they're just showing us how Huntress wound up there, how Batwoman wound up there. And they got Ivan Reis doing the artwork. And that artwork is just aching to jump at us. It's just a story of people talking about what's already happened that we could piece together ourselves, man. The backups have been cool, though. Like, I really like that Scarecrow backup with the kid. And then the newest issue had the preview of the Dan Mora Mark Waid World's Finest comic, and that felt so old school and bright and fun. That was awesome. I'm really excited for that one. That's gonna be a good one.
I don't know if I read that, man. That's not ringing a bell.
The other thing I was gonna throw in about the 2 Robin and Batman, and then Batman the Knight is like, we don't have Alfred in current continuity, so it's nice to get him. And I love he's playing the father role in Robin and Batman. It's the juxtaposition, which may be the first time I've ever used that word. I hope I used it correctly, of Alfred's parenting style and Bruce Wayne's parenting style. And that was one of the things I really liked about Robin and Batman, the way they viewed how Dick Grayson should be raised. And then with Batman the Knight, I'm sure Robbie, Jem, you guys probably have read a bunch of stories where you're seeing Alfred really as the father figure to like a young Bruce Wayne. But for me, I haven't read a lot of, or maybe any stories where it really highlights that dynamic in their relationship. So that's something I really look forward to over the next 9 issues, is getting into that, just like Batman Begins, but they didn't really do the father-son relationship as much maybe in Batman Begins,
Did you say 9 issues?
Yeah, it's 10-issue series.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Batman the Knight is 10 issues?
The Knight,
God damn it.
Buckle in.
God. All right. I mean, that's as it is. I real quick, I thought about this. Detective Comics 1050. I didn't really like it, but they finally do explain like how they're able to fix these Arkham Asylum inmates. And that intrigues me because every time they drop this character, and like we said, spoilers, it's Psycho Pirate. Every time they drop that character in, I get so damned excited, and then they never do anything with it. So
anytime you drop Psycho Pirate or Captain Carrot, you lost me. Or Professor Pig. Anytime there's a Professor Pig story, I'm like, what is this guy's deal again? My mind can't grasp those characters for some reason.
And see, I'm the opposite, because anytime they drop those 3 characters, I'm like, this was the best freaking comic ever.
Isn't Psycho Pirate supposed to be like he's like the lead into a crisis? Like if you see Psycho Pirate,
he's kind of like a fixed position, right, within multiverses or some shit, or he's always the same him or some shit in every multiverse.
There's that kind of aspect. I don't think they're using him in that way for this, but that's because of his involvement in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then in Infinite Crisis, Jeff Johns brought him back, and so he's associated with it, and they made the point of talking about that powers, point. Yeah, though, right. But yeah, his powers is that he. That's what the reason why he wears the mask is because he looks at you. He can control your emotions, so he can look at you and give like a fearful face, and you're fearful. Like you goes, it's like Psycho Man, but like a little bit cooler because he didn't have to use a machine, and he's not a little dude piloting a big dude's body, which that's Psycho Man, which is pretty freaking funny.
Or the Hulk now.
But anytime they use Psycho Pirate, I just get excited. What about you, Nick?
Hulk.
Or the Hulk? Oh my!
Or the Hulk.
I wonder if that's going to be anybody's list. Nick, what's your pick of the month?
Oh, pick of the month.
Picks
so
of the month,
picks of the month. I have been going back to this one book consistently, and we just got number 7. So I'm excited to go get number 8 and kind of finish this out and see where it is. And we talked about Tom King a little bit more, but Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, for some reason, this book just this whole series has kind of hit me. And I know Verno's a big fan as well.
Me too. I'm a fan.
Yeah. For some reason, this book in particular, it's one of those books that I read and I can't stop talking about. It's just a great balance between an interesting story, and it's told in a very interesting way. It's kind of like a retrospective tale. Verno and I were talking about, it's like a high fantasy dialect, but it's not bogged down by its own complexity. And then it just has a really good way of being ultra smooth and relaxing at the same time. And then you have this crazy like anger in Kara the whole time, and her history and her backstory. Every single issue you read, it just kind of like peels back another layer of just trauma and tragedy that she's had to overcome. And then it kind of builds on the current story as well. So I've loved that like narrative and art and just crazy storytelling just mixed all together. It's just been a beautiful read so far. I've been digging it so far. And there's a guy at my shop. His name is Nick as well. He's a younger guy. He knows everything. He's read a ton of stuff. And I keep mentioning this book. He's like, what's your pick of the week? What's your pick of the week? I'm like, Supergirl. Every time it comes out, Supergirl. And he's like, nobody else is reading this book that, in our little area here. Yeah. And he's like, is this the first time that you fell in love with a book that nobody else likes or nobody else is reading? And I'm like, I think it might be. I think it might be the first time that I absolutely love a book and I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it.
At least it's not an ongoing, because then when you fall in love with an ongoing, no one reads and it disappears and you're just like...
That's what makes it great too, because it's got an ending to it. And I agree with you. I can see why that would be your pick of the week every week. For me, it hasn't been, but it's always been one of those that I thought I wasn't going to like it. It's kind of wordy, but then it kind of just still flows pretty smoothly, even though it's a little bit dense with the narration. But the rage that you expressed, that was like, Kara is like a badassness. If you want to read a good Supergirl book, this got everything. It's got that kind of density to it with how it's narrated, and then some badass Supergirl shit. And the art is crazy too, man. It's got like this unique style to it.
Evilly is nuts. Yeah.
It's so dramatic. And her line work. There's something that I think we all kind of grew up on Jim Lee and the cross hatching, the 90s cross hatching. Right. And I've really grown to appreciate artists that don't do the cross hatching. The lines are just really unique in the shading where they curve, they're not straight, but they don't intersect each other. And there's something like so satisfying about the way that they do it. And the coloring and the dramatic poses. Supergirl always looks so dramatic the way they pose her.
And big one-page spreads, like some big explosions with the sun type of shit going on.
It seems like every issue there's like one giant splash page that just kind of blows you away. It makes you almost stop and just say damn and just kind of stare at it for a minute. You know what I mean? Anything that stops me from the reading just to admire the page is going to get some extra points for sure. But I absolutely love it. Again, we're 7 issues in. We have one more issue to go.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so this is only 8 issues.
It's only 8 issues, and I've loved it. I loved everything about it. I love it. It was like, and guess what? I mean, I don't know anything about this character. I'll kind of defer to you guys. Some of the backstories we hear from Kara in this, are these known things for this character? Are we learning things about her in these issues? Like the way her planet, died and like the aftermath. Is this all new stuff that they're kind of bringing in, or is this retelling?
Good point. Because it felt like they expanded on it, perhaps. Like I didn't know if it was something already established, like you said.
Right.
Well, they're doing like certain aspects of her origin through like a different perspective, which they've done in the past, but King is really kind of leaning into it. Like I like the idea in the book about, and this has been pointed out, like Superman doesn't remember Krypton. Right? Like Superman was a baby, right?
That's what's interesting. Yeah.
She had a family. She had friends. She grew up there, right? And so they kind of get into this at certain moments, like New 52, they tried to do it. They tried to touch on it in a different way in the Rebirth era, and they've done stuff back in the day. And I haven't read a lot of Supergirl stuff in the 70s or the 80s, right? Yeah. Like my first Supergirl comics, it was like the weird shape-shifting alien that was like sleeping with Lex Luthor too during the death of Superman.
Matrix, yo.
The Matrix, right? So all that stuff. But
the Matrix.
My first Kara Zor-El comic was her death in Crisis, right?
Number 7, sure. Yeah.
So this is a book where, first of all, the art is great. Evilly's work. Insane. Have you seen her work on The Dreaming with Cy Spurrier?
No,
but I'm definitely going to look out for her from now on.
That's also just a really good book. Like if you like Sandman, if you like that world, you like that fantasy, that kind of poetic literature-esque type approach to comic book fantasy, that book is really good. And she does the artwork and it's absolutely freaking phenomenal. I love the artwork in Supergirl. Oof. I just feel like, how in the hell is Tom King stretching 8 issues into a long ass story? It's true grit in space. And it's just it's the verbosity of it that bothers me. I've gotten into the habit of just reading the dialogue. like not even reading the captions, and I enjoy the book. I'm serious.
But you know, I don't know. I think it makes it hits a little bit harder reading those captions, man. The narration from that character, it makes you care about her more, and it makes you understand Supergirl more. She's really explaining to us what it's like to be Supergirl, on how she has to physically hold her powers back so she doesn't accidentally eye blast somebody and destroy them. Like, you don't understand. She's constantly fighting back that urge to unleash this power. So like, I think you're missing out a little bit now that I'm thinking about it, Robbie. But
maybe
I feel you, man. It looks tough to get through. I always start that book. That's why it never gets pick of the week. I always start that book out like, oh man, this is gonna take a minute, but I end up loving it every time, man.
It's a book that every time I have it in my hand, I almost want to wait for the very end, because some books you just know you're going to be a little bit. You're like, okay, I got to get through these, right? Some of them. But this is a book that I kind of wait to the very end to read, and man, it's like a cigar and wine, man. You just take your time with it. I take my time with it, and that was a trick
I learned from Robbie too, man, on how, like, when to read books, because we read a lot of books in a short amount of time.
Save the best ones for the end,
Robbie, I don't know if I'm supposed. All right, is that a trade secret, or are we allowed to talk about it?
Oh, you can go ahead and say it. I think I've said it before.
Robbie,
I do that to this day. The longest ones go first, just so you don't get caught up on a rough day. And then it goes to the ones that you think are going to weakest to the strongest. And then you just look for, that's always towards the end of the pile for sure. Yo.
I like to mix in easy reads. For whatever reason,
I can see that.
I wonder if you guys agree with this. Like, Marvel books, be them, whether they're good or bad, they tend to be, they're rarely wordy. You know what I mean?
Right.
They tend to be the quicker reads, even if they're not the best. They're easier. They're more digestible a lot of times. But the one thing I was gonna say about that Supergirl,
I agree with you, except for X books. I feel like sometimes X books,
fucking data pages, bro.
You'll get that. First of all, I stopped reading those after Robbie said he wasn't reading it. I'm like, bro, I'm done. I'm not reading a textbook. And there'll be longer ass issues out of nowhere, 40 pages, and a lot of exposition or narration. But for most part, Marvel is not like that. But for me, sometimes the reign of X, or whatever you want to call it, could be like that.
Right. I was gonna say, I wonder how, and I've loved Supergirl. I think it is wordy, but it's right on the borderline of like not being to where it doesn't bug me. Just like what you were saying, Jen. When you go into it, you're like, oh boy. But by the end of it, you're like, oh, that was great. I'm curious how it's gonna read in a trade, being kind of one note, like every issue is 90% of it is the young girl talking from her perspective, explaining Supergirl.
Right.
Individually stretching out month to month, it's been great, but it might get a little old reading it in a trade. I might be wrong.
It would suffer in a
trade.
I think it would suffer as a trade.
Yeah,
because I think
you're not going to want to binge that, right?
You're not going to want to binge it. And this is a book I kind of want to read, and I want to let it soak in. Again, I'm a little bit too obsessed with it, though.
If you just read the dialogue, you could binge it.
Well, if I just look at the pretty pictures, I can.
No wonder this guy Robbie's reading 50 books a day. My man's not reading the dialogue boxes.
Just in this one. I mentioned that on my show, but like, it made the comet issue so much better, like with the horse and all that stuff. But anyway,
maybe there's no dialogue.
Maybe I'm faulting too much on Tom King, because Human Target this week was incredibly verbose, but I really liked it, and it was the first one it was the first one I really, really liked, right?
Yeah.
But I also think I'm getting a crush on Ice, man.
Oh my god!
Don't cold showers after that issue.
Nick texted me. I hadn't even read it yet, and he's like, "Dude, I felt like I needed a cold shower." Honestly, you screw with my read, because I was waiting till I'm like, "Dude, there's gonna be some sexy ass splash page at the end of this," and it was just her being standard, classy, gorgeous. I was expecting what we get in Saga almost with you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Gwen.
Hey, my man's only got a couple days left. You got to make him count, man. Like, feelings.
He's getting.
But maybe it's the lettering, because they're doing the cursive font, right? And I'm sure I don't know if the letterer is Clayton Cowles. He usually letters most of Tom King's stuff. Cursive is hard to do.
Is it?
Cursive can be boggy.
Which part is cursive? The narration or the dialogue?
It's like the journal of the other character, the secondary character.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's different. You're right. Yeah.
But you don't like that in Department of Truth either, right? When they do like something.
I didn't like the Bigfoot one because it was so muddy. I couldn't fucking.
It was
couldn't read.
That was ridiculous.
Thank you for the super chats, Comic Book Jackpot. By the way, I did find out Bueller and Bob. They thought the time was different, even though I mean, it's been a few months, y'all, since we've done it, right? So
yeah,
they're on.
These guys
their
didn't
way.
even show up, man. What the hell are they doing?
They're on their way, we should say. So
Jeez,
I'm glad you
man.
guys are digging Supergirl, man.
Yep.
I go up and down with it, but you know,
who's dropping that title? Has anyone in the chat? Has anyone dropped that title? I would doubt it.
Right.
You know,
I don't know. I heard a lot of people were getting a little bit pissed off
we're
around
bet-
issue 2. Issue
Oh,
2 was, that
really?
was the whole like the space travel one with the fight the giant dragon and stuff.
Yeah,
and it was like,
that was dope. The dragon splash
I
scene.
loved it.
I liked it.
I know that was the issue where I was like, "Yep, this is."
And there was like a prison. It was like a 3-story prison or something type of ship. It's like, or it was crazy the way it was. They had like a cafeteria.
It was kind of the barometer. If you didn't like that one, you might not like the series. But if you liked that one, you're good to go for the whole thing.
It was like Daredevil-ish episode 2 on Netflix, where the whole hallway fight scene. It's like, if you can make it through Daredevil episode 2 and you don't like this, stop watching.
If this isn't your thing,
if you don't like this,
leave now.
Just leave it. Yeah. Yep.
Verno, what's your pick of the month?
What?
Let's cheat.
This to me, I'm going to compare this. I'm going to make a controversial analogy.
The end was crazy, man.
Dude, it was just, for me, I just spent a lot of time with these characters recently with this reread. I've read
That's crazy, man.
a good chunk of it a bunch of times. I'm taking notes on it for this episode we did. You can go check it out on the Cerebros. We got Rockin Robbie, Nick, and Jennifer from Comics Will Break Your Heart. It's a great discussion.
I need to check it out, man. I forgot what happened.
You got it. It's comic book catch up. It's designed to catch you up, to prepare you for 55, more or less.
Boom.
But I'll compare this. Not everybody loved The Force Awakens, and I kind of don't like it as much now as I did when I was in the theater and I watched The Force Awakens. I was just smiling the whole time. I was like, this is so nostalgic, and this is where everybody is. And it's just like, just the way that they did this, and they're introducing the characters. I see Hazel, and within the first few pages, I'm like, she might go down as like my favorite character in anything, movie, TV. Like, by the end of this, if they do it right, like, I love this child so damn much, and I love Alana, what they've done with their characters and the reveals that they made, specifically concerning Marco. Maybe leave it vague if we want to get into that. Robbie.
I was surprised that they did that, man. I don't know. It seems
he could have. It still could be fake, man. It still could be fake. He could have chiseled that. The Will's a crafty bastard.
They're not going to do that.
But look, Verno, was it you that said backstage that this is less like a comic book, right?
More like manga.
Right, which
and that's
dope,
something
man.
that I really wish that I had mentioned when we did that episode. It's something I was thinking ahead of time. Is that's one of the things that makes it so different. Is the characters are going to change and grow. Backstage, we were comparing average Marvel and DC Big Two stuff is more like a Simpsons episode, where no matter what happens, especially with Marvel, it's always going to go back to the status quo. Characters, they might change, but they're pretty much always they're not going to age. You know what I mean? But with this, they are growing, they are changing. And for someone that doesn't read manga, like, I totally get the appeal of that. Like, you live with these characters more, kind of like a live action television show. You know what I mean? You put on Full House and you watch these kids grow up by the end of it. You know what I mean?
But the Alana is the mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The baby, what's the child's name?
Hazel.
So Hazel. So it's kind of like even like with something like Dragon Ball, where you grow up with the character from literally Hazel, maybe even younger, as a baby, right before she was born, and you literally grow up with the character her whole entire life. And now she has more. Does she have the wings? Is a new thing, right?
No, they're more prominent now and
bigger. Okay,
I don't know if she was flying before, but she
it looked
flies
like she did
in
some. Yeah,
right. The other thing that
it made it seem like she didn't fly before. That's what I got. I couldn't really remember.
She might not have.
I think this is her first
time we see her.
Because I think Alana or whatever, I think she didn't fly until like volume 3 or something like that at Oswald's place.
I remember.
She's got those tiny wings, though.
She's got the tiny wings. Hazel's are like freaking dragons almost. It's crazy.
But what they do with Squire, that was the other thing that was just really touching to me. We've got Prince Robot 4's now orphaned kid, and he's calling Alana mommy, or he's not calling, she's calling him son. She's calling herself mommy to him.
And mama's home. And
I was like, duh, like, of course they would do that. Like, now she's adopted this kid. And then the other thing that I appreciated, like, I think a lot of us that were into the series, we see this guy on the cover and we're like, who's this douchebag?
Yeah,
that's not, you know what I mean? He better not be sticking it to Alana.
I'm not calling him dad.
Chubby guy. But they didn't go that route. And that was, to me, that was satisfying. I would have been bummed out.
Bombazine or something?
Yeah, I didn't know what to call him. Yeah,
it's like, what's up, bros? We got a problem here.
Right.
And then they brought back the Will. That was familiar. It was like, okay,
wild.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he
And then
got in shape too.
Talk about cold shower.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
This dude's got female ejaculate all over his face in this damn
we
issue.
saw
man.
like penis shaft. You know what I mean? With a
Yeah,
hand
dude,
wrapped around it. I was
there's
like,
a-
can they do that?
One of the
So, you know,
one of the
Sure can.
employees at my comic shop was like flipping through it, and he was like, "There are dicks in this book," and we're like, "Yes."
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? He's like,
No,
thought
so
this
I
an
was
all
reading
ages
it.
book."
This is like a classic story too. Like it's like actually like an anime joke, but I'm reading it right as Fee walks by. I'm on that page. He's like, "What the fuck are you reading?" I was like, "It's Saga." She was like, "What?"
She's like, oh.
"Yeah." She read
is.
Saga and she reviewed it with me when we did it a couple years ago. So like it's like, damn, I guess I got to be okay with it. But it's like you're over here looking at a porn, like basically. Like,
I mean,
It's hardcore.
But it's showing you the power dynamics between Gwendolyn and the Will.
Yo,
know?
yeah, we know who. Yeah, we know who wears the pants. Yeah.
yeah. So they set the tone for the second half of the series. That's how they're kicking us off.
I like it's in line with the characters that what they're doing now, spoiler alert, is they're slanging drugs. Like that's what they're doing to get by. Alana,
It's
she was
weeds now, all of a
experimenting
sudden.
with drugs. They look like they were eating little like chocolate edibles that you get from the
Well, it's the
dispensary.
fadeaway.
kind of
Right?
bagel.
It's the exact same. It's the exact same thing. So
Oh,
The
okay,
same
okay.
stuff that she
it's
was
yeah,
on,
it's in
right?
bar form, and they have like little miniature chunks you can break off. It looks like it's in that wrapping.
looks
You know what I mean?
delicious.
Like it looks like a crunch bar almost, like that
Right.
wrapping. You can just break it.
It's a Mile High bar. is what
Mile
they are.
high.
I was so stoked, Robbie, because it wasn't until today when I looked and I was like, I wonder what Robbie thought of this. And right away with my pick of the week, I was like, oh snap, he loved it.
I was surprised that it got pick of the week. I was wondering because I didn't know if you were going to agree with my pick of the week or not. You know what I'm saying? I kind of figured that you weren't, but I was like, damn, maybe he'll surprise me. But you did like it a lot.
Yeah,
But,
I did.
Yeah, you hit it with the Saga. I was like, damn, I can see that though. Saga was unique, man.
Saga. We had this week. It was there were a couple possible picks, but
Contenders, yeah.
just the way that Saga was able to, and for me, I didn't have to wait 3 years. You know, I just in a week read these 54 issues, and I was able to just jump in and be like, all right, next issue's here, and it was nice, and it was cool to see the 3 year jump to understand where we are still. To not be like, wait, what happened to Prince Robot? And things like that. So
I didn't even know it was 3 years. Did it make it clear in that issue? I didn't really feel like it did.
They did mention time. Like I tried to find
they?
that narration.
I
Again,
must have missed it.
I haven't.
I think
found
maybe
it.
it's the Will bit when he brings the skull or whatever. I don't know.
Because they specifically said it, and I think I was like, oh, okay, that was for me, not for.
Or she's
the
like, we've
character.
been here for so long, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
I think
And
I
Hazel
do
said
remember
she's
that now.
about to turn 10. I think she says in this.
She
issue.
did say her age. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
9.
And we do get the idea that 100% we know for a fact, which we've known already, but it's 108 issues is how long it's going to go.
Oh,
that's
really?
cool, man.
Right.
Yeah, he says that in his
whole note.
essay at the
I
end.
didn't
yeah.
get through that at the end there. Okay, that's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
always
worth
kind
it.
of knew that going in though, that it was halfway, was 54, right, or whatever.
Yeah. They just basically confirmed it. So I'm glad it's back.
Yo,
The
they stuck
artwork,
with their guns,
is super
man.
strong,
You gotta
strong, man.
respect it.
Yeah,
After
we were
years.
talking about on the recap, the catch up that you did, Verno, how Fiona's artwork, like when you go back and look at volume 1 and it's a less confident line, and then like at the end of the series, like towards the end of those 54 issues, how confident that became.
I'm sure, yeah.
Whole new world in 55.
Oh, it's amazing. Just like Gwendolyn, when they show her and just her stance and the way her dress is drawn and the line work, dude, it is fire. It's firing on all cylinders from the first page to the end. And then this pirate ship. It's like, come on, man. That's
that
so
was
dope.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
you know it's a
dope.
pirate ship. Like, just trust me, man.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Well, how about the tree rocket ship that's kind of like now integrated into the area a little
Right.
bit more? It just those
Yeah.
full page spreads
They're
are
on-
just beautiful, man.
They live in fucking Krakoa.
Right.
Right.
That's
Yeah, they do. They
something
live in the treehouse now. Yeah.
I wish I would have brought up when we were talking before about the artwork. That's another super standout, something Fiona Staples is really good at is these ship designs. The Will's got a dope ass looking little acorn ship, the rocket ship. She's phenomenal with her character designs and her ship designs.
Yep.
Yo, shout out to them, man. That's what's
And
up.
she also has if anyone's in the Magic the Gathering, I think Fiona Staples actually did a limited edition Magic card art. So if you're into that, look up Fiona Staples Magic the Gathering. Hit it.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it's I don't know how many cards it was. It may
I
only
never
been
got
about
into
10.
it. I always
Yeah.
wish I got into that. Yeah, I tried back in the day. I got myself a starter kit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never got into it. I didn't know enough people that played it, I guess.
Be happy, bro. That's a money sink like a
motherfucker. I've been playing on and off for like 20 years almost. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I played it pretty hardcore for like, it was probably only about 8 to 10 months because we do Magic at the Deep, right? At the shop I work at.
Yeah.
Right.
And I got into it. Some of my friends played. Brooks plays. Brooks is an avid Magic player. And man, I got into it for a while. Like I had like a fucking Merfolk deck that was like badass. And then I realized, how much is this worth? Yeah, I'll sell that shit. Like
it's hard for me to hold something like that too. That's like, damn, I can. Yeah.
And then like people, card players in general, and I'm not, trying to talk shit about any kind of group of nerds, but like
everybody's everyone's into their own weird
everybody's
shit,
in
man.
it. They really act like they're on fucking The Wolf of Wall Street or some shit. Like they act like they're like hardcore. The fucking
the comics game is like that too, man. There's a whole other side of this comic shit, man. The fucking market is crazy.
Yeah, but if you have a tournament, people will start yelling at each other about which order of operation occurs first based on.
Yeah, it's about the stack. It's all about the stack, man. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just like fantasy football.
Go first, bro. They're on
my
stack.
instant goes first. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. If I had to pick a pick of the month, it'd probably be Saga. Just a big deal for it to come back, for it to still be good, for it to hit hard, for it to catch us up on what the characters have been and propel the series forward into where we're going. But if I had to pick a second one, which I will, Silver Coin number 8. This damn book, which the first issue, Zdarsky issue, I thought was great. The summer camp issue, I loved, obviously, because I love summer camp slashers.
You didn't like the Lemire issue?
Yeah, that Lemire issue. I still don't get that one. But I'm going to go back and
Which one was
it? It was a futuristic one, right? Terminator 2.
Oh, yeah. We thought it was going somewhere, how it was connected, but I just never
and then there was another one. There were some other ones where I'm like, I don't understand it. And then Michael Walsh did his issue, which I think was the origin issue or whatever.
Yeah,
that was great.
With the man with the hat or whatever, is that?
One, and the goat or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then Rom V does his Vegas issue, which was great. And then Matthew Rosenberg comes in with this issue where, and I'm surprised that Rosenberg almost didn't do this, but it's a credit to him as a writer. Other people would do this as a very on the nose kind of criticism of like Wall Street and the class structure. And not that it's subtle, the thematic subtext of this story, but the way it's handled is it's truly still focused and elevating the horror of it. Like that cover, that's the cover of the month right there. I'm sorry. Like, no, but that's just good. That's just
they're really sticking it to the man with that one too on some like corporate shit, right? Like,
yeah, right. So
the janitor cleaned up, man.
yeah, I know, right? But did he? Did he really? Right. So I like that. I like the series. Oh, the damn video game one has been the best one. Though.
I love that. That was right up my fucking alley, yo.
Oh, you know it, right?
That shit was right up my alley. They even threw Spawn in, right? I like MK11 and all that.
Yeah. The Silver Coin though, I absolutely loved. I thought that was a really solid issue.
Robbie, but isn't this one the only one where like the guy didn't ever really have the coin, right? Am I thinking this back correctly? It was all him to try to obtain the coin. It was just strong.
The presence of it was like that.
He never even had it.
Well, it's kind of like we don't have a lot of the things that we're obsessed with. You know what I mean? You're striving for that. Yeah. He wants that thing that the executive has, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings style almost.
Yeah, it's like the Ring of Power or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, I tell you what, we get to the end there where he dives out the window for it and he kills himself. And somebody picks it up on the last page. This is one of the things about the series that I love. We're gonna see this dude eventually. Like this guy, he looks like a veteran. He's on his crutch. Like I can't wait to see him. That's one thing I dig about it. But it wasn't until I flip back through it that I see not only did the one dude dive out, but everybody after him dove out as well. And that just put it over the top. It's like that was badass, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I like how even though it has its story about luck versus opportunity and the big wigs at this like corporate office versus like the janitors, and like there's this interesting thing about the disparity between these two things, but to still just focus on being a horror book, to make it like feel mental in a way, like you understood this guy's obsession. You slowly saw this dude like kind of get into it, and it does show the influence of the coin outside of just being in possession of the coin. Right. And maybe that will shed some light on some previous issues, because we know the influence of the coin. Because even in the summer camp one, right, the coin was just part of this like weird. I don't remember this one. I don't remember if they actually held the coins. I got to go back and reread through all these.
Yeah, yeah. The girl that was like more of an origin of the coin, even wasn't it? Didn't the girl find the house in the woods with the guy that's been kind of reoccurring or something?
Right.
That's right. And the coin was just there.
Yeah,
she got it from there,
and she got it. And she killed all the kids.
And the people that burned the fireman's house down or whatever and stole all his stuff, and then they ended up getting killed, and she was chasing the woods.
Yo, this is a crazy series, man.
Right.
It is, but it's a little bit disjointed. A little bit. There's a lot of connective tissue between issues, but we've talked about a couple issues that are kind of like that was a little bit more of a one-off.
It's Ice Cream Man.
Nick Barucci,
hey, Nick, what's up, man? It's Ice Cream Man, though. It's like the same kind of thing. It's an anthology, but actually more. It has more continuity than Ice Cream Man does. I would say Ice Cream Man just has the same vibe, basically, but
it just
this one has the coin.
There's continuity in Ice Cream Man, and in this one they tease us again.
I've recently jumped on Ice Cream Man, but from what I have seen so far.
Every once in a while, you get an issue like this last one.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard something. There was a big reveal at the end of one recent issue. I don't remember which one.
The plain one, right, Robbie? I think it was the plain one
where they talk about the trial. They mentioned that again in this issue, where it says we're all here for the trial of Ricardus.
Are there trades for Ice Cream Man?
Yeah, and they're actually doing a deluxe hardcover. It's called the Sunday edition.
Bro, I gotta read that shit, man. Because I've read a couple of issues, and I read all of Haha, which I feel like is part of the same thing. It feels the same to me. I don't know.
The issue 6 of Haha was a direct tie-in to Ice Cream Man issue. I don't remember what it was, but
I didn't get the tie-in because I hadn't read that issue of Ice Cream Man.
Yeah,
I gotta get that hardcover.
Yeah,
the way that they're structuring Silver Coin is. Like that one futuristic one, the Jeff Lemire one, it's like it doesn't seem to tie in at all. There's a lot of things that don't seem to make sense, but the way it's structured, it's set up to where someone later on down the road can make that make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a hotel formula. Yeah.
I'd be curious to know like the formula, like how does Michael like tell a writer an idea, or do they give him an idea and then he shows them how they can piece it all together?
I think it's the writer.
That's one of the things I love is that that usually you have the writer doing everything and then a different artist on each book in these kind of anthologies, right? And this one you have the same artist,
right?
And he's the mastermind, right? And so I really like that. So I just wonder, like when they have the conversations, I'm sure he's like, oh, it has to revolve around the silver coin, and then someone comes up with an idea. But does he at times be like, oh, well, let's tie it in here, or does he like thread it together? Maybe that's why because he's doing. In what will be the end of each trade, Michael Walsh is going to be doing the writing and the illustrating, right?
But can I throw this out here from a different perspective? Is this almost like a writer's test? Hey, give me your best pitch about a silver coin that causes some type of horror tragedy around it. Go. How does it come out? Did you pass or fail? But you're using all these big names and they're hitting it.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're hitting home runs and shit. So it's like, yo, it feels like DJ Khaled mixtape, man. This guy's grabbing all the best writers, throwing them the hook. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this shit is about a silver coin. Go.
Another one.
They're just dropping hits on it, man.
And now when he's ready to bring this to a close and launch his own, like creator-owned book that he's writing and drawing, we know who he is.
Right.
Yo, I got to be on that shit because I fuck with him, man. I like his style, man.
Dude,
Robbie,
I
really like it.
I wanted to ask you about Matthew Rosenberg because he's doing a lot of the backups. You see him doing a lot of the backups in DC. You see Tynion kind of putting him in the role that Tynion was in with Snyder, where he was kind of like working with him and then passed the Batman book off to him. Has he done a lot of work? Is he a younger guy? Because I dig like everything that I've read from him, but I don't see many titles that he's writing on his own.
So he's a little bit of a younger guy. He hasn't been in the industry that long, but he has already been in the industry and done some big projects. For instance, he did an extended run on Punisher, and it was the run where Punisher put on the War Machine armor, and then so that was a whole. That was like the last full run of Punisher, I think, if I remember correctly.
No, they had. Did they?
I think that was then it ended, and then they just used him in like Savage Avengers and here and there.
Right.
But that was him.
But they were reprinting old material of his at the time, so that's what made me think, okay, they're still keeping him.
Yeah.
But now they got the thing with him coming out with the different logo and everything, right? Yeah. So that's like the first new Punisher thing.
Rosenberg did that. He did a multiple man series with Andy McDonald that was really good. It was like a 5-issue multiple man series. That's what I was thinking earlier.
Psycho Pirate is like multiple man in a sense.
It's just a fan favorite when he's like what?
Or something that links the multiverses together. I don't know. At least in Secret Wars, maybe. All right, my bad. Continue.
You're thinking Molecule Man.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, is it the battery, right?
What?
I thought it was Multiple Man.
Multiple Man? What are we talking about?
Isn't that James?
Multiple Man's
James, what's his name again?
Jamie Madrox. Jamie Madrox.
Jamie Madrox. Yeah, like our boy, man, from Twisted. Anyway.
So what the hell was it? Oh, he also was one of the writers before Hickman came on to X-Men. They had this like fill-in kind of thing, right? Where they rebooted X-Men with the new #1. They brought in Kelly Thompson, Ed Brisson, and Matthew Rosenberg was one of them. And then Rosenberg took over as the ongoing writer right before Hickman came in. So that was that crazy run where Cyclops lost an eye, and they killed Magic again and all that shit. But the big thing is, of course, he does What's the Furthest Place from Here right now.
Oh, that's where I'm remembering that name from.
Where he broke in really was a book called 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank.
Oh, that's him.
And it's the same.
That was
artist,
great, man.
The same artist as What's the Furthest Place from Here. So
I'm finally starting to get What's the Furthest Place from Here. The 4 Kids Rob a Bank was on like Black Mask or something. Was the publisher? Wasn't it?
I think it was Black Mask. Yeah,
something like that. That was great. I didn't get What's the Furthest Place from Here at first, and I don't think I was supposed to. Reading it now, I'm like, okay, now I'm starting.
You weren't supposed to.
What the
hell? I was getting it more before than the last one is what threw me off. I was like, what the hell is going on?
The last one was weird. Yeah.
It became more clear to me, at least, with the whole strangers. Okay, so they are aliens. Right. They are supernatural or extraterrestrial of some sort. Shit's fucked up. Kids don't know how to use VCRs because it's like giving a kid a beeper right now. And hey, use codes to let the person know it's you and what you want to tell them.
Speaking of beepers and VCRs, we have a first appearance here on PCP. It's the first appearance of the Bueller bus.
Yo!
The Bueller strip club bus.
My man is fashionably late. Yo.
Hello, gentlemen. Very sorry. Honestly, Robbie, I thought it was at 5:30 today. I've had Bob was here at my house. We've had contractors in and out of my house because he's getting some stuff done. So we had the guy doing for the paint and for the fence and stuff was here. But truly, my apologies. I was totally.
No, I mean that's important.
I thought it was at 5:30. So I am here now, and I'm on the
and you
bus.
brought the bus. Yeah, how's it going on the bus, man?
Can we get a full screen on the bus real quick?
Yeah, man. You got some lights in there, Bueller?
Oh yeah, I got lights.
There you go. Yeah.
This is. I mean, I can kind of like. That's the kitchen. It's a little dirty right now, but that's like the kitchen counter and stuff.
Right.
And then if you kind of pan over here, this is where the table is and everything.
Nice.
Oh, look at the backdrop.
You got your one up there. Nice.
Yeah, I went up the beds back there and stuff like that. It's a little messy right now because I was doing some work today, and it gets cluttered very quickly, obviously. And but yeah, for the most part, it's done. You know, I just I was talking to my partners at Whatnot today, and we're going to the next step next week. So we're looking forward to doing that.
Shout out to Whatnot, man. They be coming through.
Yeah, they definitely are. So I'm excited and ready to get the wheels rolling. It's just it's been a long process, just getting the house taken care of, and selling a house, and then having to find a home for all my stuff because I'm not moving. I got to get rid of everything.
Yeah,
right.
So I'm sending a bunch of stuff to Robbie. That's why I asked for his address. So
station.
Be looking in the mail.
Nice.
The VHSs.
Yeah, VHSs. Yep. Actually,
it's gonna be crazy when you hit the road, man. This is all just still preliminary stuff.
Yeah, you got 2 episodes of the coffee show left in its iteration currently. So are you out in like 2 to 3 weeks? Are you heading out then?
So it just turned out to be that's the best time to do it. Because in 2 weeks, that's my 4-year anniversary of the show, and that's when I announced that I was going to do this as far as doing the bus. So that's episode 150.
Yeah.
And so it's like the second week of February, and then there's going to be so much going on, the rest of the month, moving stuff out and doing everything. I just can't commit to, doing some more shows, and the weekends are just going to be really tied up. And I probably will be traveling a little bit during that time. Officially, I don't hit the road until like the first week of March, but I'm not going to be in my house probably the halfway mark through February. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to take this and park it over at my dad's lake and kind of live in here for a few weeks just to test everything out and make sure everything works.
Yeah.
And because I want to know everything's fine before I leave on the road, because I don't want to be on the road and all of a sudden the solar panels aren't working or something's not charging and then have to fix it on the road. So I want to be able to just kind of take care of everything beforehand. So just play it safe.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Sounds
Dude.
exciting, man. I'm looking forward to watching.
Hell
Yeah, man. Many stations, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for when the Bueller bus rolls through my town. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to visiting all you guys. Seriously.
No, for real, come through, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to come through El Paso. It's in the name, man. It's literally the way you pass through there.
Yeah. So I mean, my first place I'm going is Albuquerque.
That's right by me.
Yeah. So you'll be one of the first people I visit there, Jim.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, we got to play in the arcade. We got to fucking show you the tour up here. And we got to do the coffee show on your bus. The whole works.
There you go. That'd be awesome, man. We're looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to see that, gentlemen. So, Bueller, since you're here, we just wrapped up some great discussion on our favorite books of this month. Verno liked Saga. I like Silver Coin. Nick likes Supergirl. Jim liked all the Batman books. What about you, Travis? What about you, Bueller? What do you like?
Honestly, I'd say the one that stood out for me this month, I didn't read a lot, but the one I really enjoyed was that Swamp Thing Black Label.
That was great.
I forgot about that.
So
Me too.
Something Swamp Thing Hell, something
Green
like
Hell.
Green Hell.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
I thought that was great, man. The artwork was,
And it's magazine size. So you started picking those up now?
well, I just, somebody got it and I saw it. I think Damien got it and I was looking, I was like, man, that's so cool. And that's why I bought it and I had to get it. So
damn. See, I told you back then you gotta give those magazine size a shot because they're awesome stories, man.
But here's the thing, I dropped mine in the rain a couple times and it's all beat to hell. It's all the back cover like came off and stuff, so it's perfect. And but dude, that book is awesome. That was a great story. I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't know if anyone obviously you picked it up. All you guys probably read it.
Yeah.
But that one came out of nowhere for me. And it really
was great.
As much as I enjoyed Rom V's Swamp Thing, this one kind of took it to a new level for me. So I mean,
Ron V's is a little bit deeper, and this one's a little bit more like it feels like a Jeff Johns book. Or so who's writing this?
Jeff Lemire.
Jeff Lemire. I love Jeff Lemire. Yeah, this feel, and it has like the horror aspect to it. It's got like dealing with Swamp Thing lore, which I think is cool as well, and the whole the earth cleansing itself. Very cool stuff, man.
Yeah, like how the red, the rot, and the green are like,
yeah,
you know what? It's
these guys. You got to get these guys out of here. Like what it would really be saying, you know.
And
Constantine's in it.
Yeah. That's the big gist
awesome.
at the end. They got to get Constantine, and he's got to resurrect Alec Holland Swamp Thing to combat this new avatar.
And they're still pissed at each other. Yeah.
It's very rare that they bring in Constantine and you're not like excited for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's just like one of the coolest characters in
comics. One of my favorites. Yeah.
Plus they got that Jeff Lemire, like from May's book, we just got that father-daughter relationship. And this is the son. He's into this like parentage mode right now.
Yeah.
We've got the same vibe going on in Green Hell.
May's book is crazy.
Good pick.
Yeah, and that Doug Menke artwork. Like, holy crap. This dude's been doing, I first noticed him, he did Superman books in the 90s, right? So he's been around for a while. He's like a Liam Sharp. Like, he's one of those dudes that's been a veteran for so long and still just keeps cranking it out. And he's always he's never had the biggest name. He's never been like a Ryan Stegman or a John Byrne or a Jim Lee or a Daniel Warren Johnson or Todd McFarlane or anything like that, right? But he's always pumped out consistently solid work. His storytelling is great. He's great at splash, explosive stuff. He's just a killer artist, man.
Dude, he's a guy, just go into Google, type his name in, and just the stuff that comes up there is like mind-blowing. He's done a lot of crazy stuff.
I was sleeping on Liam Sharp, man. I don't know how I missed that shit.
For me, with that Batman Catwoman book, it took me a couple issues. Not that it wasn't good, but it was that change in art style made the comic have a completely different tone. You know what I mean? It was. Do you remember who it was early on? Either of you, Robbie,
no,
Jim?
I don't remember.
But that was great. It was one of the highlights of the series was the art in that. Then when they changed, it was jarring.
Man. It was Clay.
Yeah, and that was great too. That
wasn't the book delayed due to him or some shit like that? Or
yes, and they even remember they delayed the book at first because they were like, we're going to make sure that Clay could do all 12 issues.
My man was like, he got that check and he was like, man, I'll get it in when I can, baby. They were like, Mr. Man wants his check up front for some reason, and I just did it. Shout out to Clay Man.
All right then. All All right, let's move along with the panel then. And you out there in the chat, feel free to let us know what your favorite books of the year. Nah, Robbie can't take over the coffee and comic show because I already got plans one day to do a rival show with Perry Comics called the Comics and Cannabis Show.
Yo, have me as a guest on that motherfucker. I don't know if you could tell or not.
I could tell. I was like, something's different about Jim tonight.
Oh boy, Robbie, I'll be on the Triple C's show or whatever it is, Double C's.
I love it, Jim. What's something else you want to mention? That's maybe not a Batman book.
Fine. All right, let's talk about Rain.
Good pick.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about. How's that song go?
Blame it on the rain.
I can't stand the rain.
Which one?
No,
There's a million of
not
them.
that one. The one that was in the one that
November Rain
ties in with the Mortal Kombat character Rain. Not that it's Purple Rain, but
that's too much of a deep cut for me, man.
I wish we would have
Can you
all
see
just
the
sang
rain?
a different Rain song at the same time. We
We
all
all go to
I
Missy
can't
Elliott.
stand.
Missy
No,
Elliott,
not
yeah.
that one. Damn, it'll come to me. I really like that book. I'm sorry. I see.
That's the
Robbie
best
already
one.
knew the creative team on this book, Rain, and shit they had done before. I just kind of went in blind, and you think it's gonna be this like, oh, this is just some relationship book, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's got this hook at the end, M. Night Shyamalan type of shit almost. But it ain't over yet. Now we're into the thick of it. This horror. This is a spoiler show, right? So I could just say,
Yeah, man.
raining.
Spoiler shit.
All of a sudden, it just starts raining down literal needles.
They spoil it on the cover, basically,
Right.
don't they?
Yeah, but without context. So you don't. Is that because your love has hurt me so bad? You're like a dagger. You know what I'm saying? So that's literally what happens. And it's like, yo, 127,000 people just died. Blah 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 blah. And it's like anytime it rains, it's like you got to dodge and get the hell out the way. And it's just interesting. Now that's their new norm, right? For lack of a better term, but like that's life from now on for them. Is the vibe that I get, and I'm interested to see how they do that now. You know where this goes, man. Fucking good, interesting, unique, kind of like a Stephen King thing. Have you ever seen the made for TV movie Langoliers?
Unfortunately,
but that
that
type of
Joe Hill's Stephen King's son. the
Yeah,
guy that
yeah,
wrote-
yeah,
Okay.
Oh, hold on, Joe Hill wrote Rain.
he wrote the story that the script is based on.
See how beautifully it just exactly.
Oh yeah, you picked it up.
You see that? I've done that before too, where I picked it up on some shit. And I was like, oh, that's
Can y'all tell Jim is partaking?
Yeah.
I love it.
Speaking of rain, real quick.
Still making
Speaking of
connections
rain,
though. Yeah, go ahead.
It's raining Portland Comic Crew members
Hey-o.
because we got Bullseye Bob in the house. What's up, my man?
Robbie, I got it.
Joe.
Have you ever seen Rain?
Oh yeah, that's it.
CCR.
Is that what it is?
Clearwater. Yeah. Have you?
Oh, okay.
In the rain.
Oh,
That's the one I was looking for. I told you.
Mike was wondering if you were thinking of Milli Vanilli. Blame
Hell
it
nah.
on the rain.
There's too many rain songs.
There is.
I love that's why I love that he was like, you know that song about rain?
You know that song about love? You know the one. The guy and the girl, they fall in love.
What's up, Bob?
What's up, Bob? How are you doing?
Bob, what up?
Right now we're talking about rain, which I liked. I liked a lot. I thought that week was not exceptionally great, but this one really stood out. I think that David M. Bueller did a really great job adapting this story. I've never read the original short story, I think it is, but he introduces all these characters, then he kills them, and it made me care that these random ass people that don't really ultimately matter to the story, aside from the one girl, right, the one woman, none of these other characters really matter, but I got to know them, so I liked it, and I'm not familiar with the artist, but I liked the art a lot.
Zoe Thorogood.
I liked the art a lot, and like I said, Joe Hill's the guy who wrote it originally, and David M. Boer's the cat that writes Canto. I mean, look at that. That's some really cool stuff.
Right. I like that. The next page after that is great too. Just
some Bob Ross
interesting layout.
Yo, Joe Hill, I don't think I've read something from him I didn't like.
Right.
He's great, man.
Hell yeah. All right, Bullseye Bob, I want to know, what's your pick of the month? What's your favorite comic book you read this month?
Oh, let me see if I can find it here because I am completely unprepared. But there's a comic book that came out that I was not expecting. It wasn't on my pull list. And I picked it up and was completely blown away by it. I was talking to Bueller about it just yesterday. And gosh, hold on a second here.
You got
I
a
can't find it, but
stack of
it's
classics
yeah,
there too. I see some 90s X-Men there.
the cursed pirate girl. Oh my gosh, the artwork inside of this thing when I was inside of the store. It's a $10 book, so it's spendy.
Which one was this?
Right.
The cursed pirate girl.
Oh, I didn't read
Did you
that.
find me a copy?
And yeah, I did. I
thank
got
you
a
so
copy. It's
much,
in my
sir.
box. There
The
at the
art's nuts in
LCS.
that
I'll
book.
pick it up.
Yeah.
The artwork is absolutely insane. I mean, every page is
It's
just
beautiful.
so intricate in detail. Let me see. I think it's right here. Hold on. Let me pull
It's a
this up.
beautiful book.
I think I'd see that. Isn't that like a continuation of another story? I think that's
Who
why I
put that
passed
out?
on it.
That's
So
why I passed
it's
on.
called The Cursed Pirate Girl
Damn, I missed
and
it.
the Devil's Cave. And
Who publishes this?
It's oops.
Boom Studios.
Yeah.
Oh, boom. Oh,
Boom.
damn.
And
Boom.
I tell you what, it's not an easy read, but if
Oh,
you look
yeah,
at
that
the
looks tough.
detail in the artwork, it is absolutely insane. Every page is like this.
It's got manga vibes.
And then when you look at there's a fold out on the
Oh,
inside
nice.
that's just
Mm.
incredible.
Yep.
Cow.
Every page is like that, and it's a continuation of a story where this girl,
Damn.
her dad is trapped in this monstrous cave. You find out that it's a giant clam, and that's kind of where the old story left off. And this story is about now that she's knows that her father's there, she's basically going to save him. And so the clam is called the Devil's Cave, and every page is kind of like a story unto itself. And then she's narrating on behalf of herself in the story, so it's kind of hard to read. So I can't call it like the best read of the month,
Right.
but I'm still going through it. But I tell you what, I've spent hours just looking at this artwork. It's freaking phenomenal.
Damn.
And
You should color it, bro. I've been seeing them pencils, man.
Yeah,
You should
no
color
kidding.
that thing.
if it was a little bit bigger, I mean, there's some detail on the page is just way too small to get a pencil in there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And but if I could, man, I would color the hell out of this. It's insanely well done, and I guess he does all of the drawing, all of the inks, all of the writing. And I guess the last one that he came out with was in 2015. So it takes him a while to get to the next part of the story.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, the artist's name is Jeremy Bastian. And so if you get a chance to pick this up, it's something really special.
Yeah, we still have some at my shop, so I'll have to grab it just to take a look at that artwork. That looks
it's
amazing.
insane. Absolutely insane. It's good stuff. So that'd be my pick of the month.
Nice. Don Daly's in the house, says Shaggy meets the Shaggy Man's the deepest interaction this month. I was talking to Don at my shop earlier today because the latest issue of the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries says Shaggy Man meets Shaggy Man, which I just thought was so freaking funny.
They Jay-Z'd it.
I'm not a
I'm
businessman.
not a
I'm a businessman.
I loved it. I thought that was great, man. I thought that was great. I've seen a lot of comments being like, you didn't read Cursed Pirate Girl or whatever it was. And I was like, I thought it was another part of a book I'd never read, but definitely need to check that out. See if I can get a graphic novel or something.
Yeah, you don't need the actual first part of the story, because on the first on the inside of the cover, just like Marvel does, it kind of gives you a synopsis of what's happened beforehand, so you can get right into the story. So you don't really need to buy the other one to actually read this one, which is pretty cool.
Nice. All right, Nick, what's another book you want to highlight?
Let's see. There's a few books that came out, and there's kind of two on the list for this kind of category of. We were kind of joking about it in one of our chats about books that you kind of pick up and you just hope are good, and they didn't bother you at all. And so these are books I ain't mad at, and one of them is All Guts No Glory. I don't know if you guys have seen that from Xenoscope. It's actually a 3-issue series. Came out. This issue actually came out this week. And it's actually a little story about the cleanup crew of like a strike team that takes out monsters. So in this issue, there's like these like zombies and vampire breakouts and things like that. And there's this like typical team that comes in. There's like the ultra jock, ultra violent, real full of himself kind of guy. There's like this female lead of the team, and she's kind of keeping everybody in check. And there's like the scared new guy, the classic like cliche characters and like these kind of strike teams that you might see in like Aliens or something.
Right.
But they have like these giant massacres. Everything is a complete disaster. And then we have these guys come in, this like cleanup crew, and they come in there and they just have to like scoop the guts up, right? And they're called, and basically it's all guts, no glory. They're cleaning up the guts. They don't get any of the glory. They have like this little rivalry. They're kind of like the water boy of the football teams. You know what I mean? Like the players kind of pick on them the whole time. I thought it was just like it's just a fun read. The art's really interesting. It's from a team where I can't even begin to pronounce their names. And so I apologize for that, but it was really fun. And it was a book, again, I had zero expectations on, but if it's at your shop, flip through it. It might be something fun.
Who did it? What studio?
Xenoscope.
I don't know if I've ever read a Xenoscope book in my life.
I can't remember the last one I did. It's only a 3-issue run too, or 3-issue series. So it's not a lot of commitment, but I thought it was pretty cool. But the other one I wasn't really mad at was Catwoman 39, actually. Catwoman 39. And so I didn't really have too high of expectations going in, but we just came off of the ROM run and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was really cool. A lot of it was about like Magistrate and kind of cleaning up Gotham. And, you know, we had our battle with, you know, trying to get Ivy out and everything. So that was interesting. And I didn't really understand. I didn't really have an expectation of what Teenie Howard was going to do kind of going into this run here, but it's not your typical kind of like recap issue. She actually took it and actually did something I thought was pretty fun. It was action, a lot of action. It was fast paced. The art was absolutely killer. It was like kind of looking through like a fashion magazine. So I really, really was digging the art. And so typically
the art's amazing in that book, bro.
It is.
It's Nico Leon, right?
Yes.
It is.
He just did something this week that I really liked. It was that Winter Soldier random ass Devil's Reign one shot.
Oh, the Devil's Reign Winter Soldier. Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a book I just had zero expectations on. It actually did something, I thought, which I had to just kind of commend her on. I felt so.
I couldn't stick with that title. Robbie always loved it, man. I could never really get into it. I think Ron V was doing it, right?
He did, yeah. I think this is the second Teenie Howard book, or maybe it's the first, because I think.
But they didn't They didn't renumber, right?
No, they didn't renumber.
Surprisingly.
Yeah,
he's actually been better at not renumbering for some reason.
Yo, what's up with Zdarsky's Daredevil? That's renumbering?
Yeah.
That's weird, man. Why?
Because they,
number one.
You did the whole other run, bro.
Well, what's up with his Devil's Reign not being a Daredevil book too? It's like he's barely in the thing. Not that I'm complaining. I've liked every one of them.
Decent, right? Yeah,
he's barely in it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem with Devil's Reign to me is that there is no lead into it. Because I thought it was going to be a lead-in from what Chip was doing in Daredevil, and it was expand out of that.
Mm-hmm. But it is with Kingpin.
It is with Kingpin being the focus.
Some of that Kingpin stuff, but Kingpin hasn't been obsessing. I don't know, man.
Okay, my whole thing was
it's Civil War light.
It is, but the multiverse stuff now with the Doc Ock stuff, that's throwing me a little bit off.
Did you read that Supreme? What was it? Devil's Reign?
Yeah, I read that. I read that.
Whatever.
I just realized
I wasn't
get it, but
I was so confused in the first issue of that one. I thought so. This is a universe where Doc Ock happened to be like Wolverine.
Yeah,
and then I realized he's doing the Superior Spider-Man thing, in those universes,
or the Dark Knight's Metal, like. Every version of Batman in a different, dark multiverse, but in this sense, is any superhero could have been an Otto Octavius.
Yeah. Right. They haven't used that to its full, like it's not as cool as it could be just yet because there's so many different things going on.
How grounded is Devil's Reign is a grounded story. What the hell is this one shot with multiverse, all different versions of Doc Ock? That's great.
Is it grounded? Because he's got Purple Man's thumb in his cane and he's using it to like change people's minds. How grounded?
I mean, it's still a street level.
It's literally grounded.
It's still a street level story at heart.
New York. Yeah,
and they're using the Purple Man, but Jessica Jones is there with Luke Cage. That makes sense. It ties in good, you know.
Yeah,
but that's throwing me off, man. You got Hulk running around with 4 arms, Wolverine,
right? Superior Wolverine.
He's Ghost Rider, and he's got extra chains.
I want to see Wolverine like do some like science Dr. Octavius stuff because you don't see Wolverine using his noggin a whole lot.
No,
they haven't used it much.
Does he have 4 claws? Or is it 4 arms?
No, he's got like Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's got adamantium arms coming out of his back.
I gotta see that.
Hulk has got the 4 arms or whatever.
Yeah. He's like
real quick, I want to have a discussion on this because I'm curious to know because I am unimpressed. 10 lives, 10 deaths of Wolverine. What do y'all think?
That's just the shit, son.
Well, okay. 10 deaths was the shit. 10 lives.
It's
got potential, but what the hell was even going on there?
Dude,
An Omega Red that can transfer bodies, like a possession kind of thing.
We don't know yet, man.
We don't know yet. So that's it's not trash or anything. It's just, what the hell was that? 10 deaths feels natural. Feels like the follow-up to Inferno.
Right. I'm so thrown off by everybody's reaction to 10 lives, specifically because I've been reading Percy's stuff all the way through. And I know he's not like everybody's waiting for him to do this game-changing thing that's going to launch us into the next era of X-Men comics. And I'm like, it's Benjamin Percy. He's going to cut some people. He's going to be some Snickton. He's not really that kind of like heady writer. So to me, it's one of those, I'm kind of easy to please when it comes to a time travel story. Like the big thing in there that I just loved. As soon as this happened, I was like, this is the shit. Is we see, if you guys read the Morrison run, you know, where Charles Xavier killed his twin sister in the womb. Like we see the aftermath of that. Cassandra Nova coming out dead and bloodied, and then it's just playing with Days of Future Past. It was a simple story, but Joshua Cassara's art is fire. And then 10 deaths, dude. That was crazy. This is the continuation of Inferno.
Empire,
and we get to spend all this time with Moira. I think it's leading into the post-humans. That dude at the end, Robbie, that's got the...
Yeah.
By the way, Empire, this is not live.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, me throw it up. I was like, wait.
That's me too. The post-humans that we meet in Powers of 10, I think that dude who's got like an ocular... you're talking
about the mutants that they engineer with all different power sets, and you can make a level 5. There was a character that I thought would be like a spec character. She came... What was her name in issue 2 of Powers? Rasputin 5 or 7 or some shit. The name wasn't good.
I think she's
you still got chips on Rasputin?
Oh my god! She got sucked into a black hole. I think in this series we're gonna see the aftermath of
They also had a good ratio variant of her too on that first appearance, if I recall.
She's one of the coolest looking characters. She's so dope looking. But
that's the thing with Hickman's story is like, man, we're yet to tie back to that.
Right.
Why did you even tell us that in Powers of 10? How long ago have we touched on those mutants that you can engineer and have all the powers and everything?
Well, don't forget that Hickman was forced to kind of elongate his plans, and to the point where he was like, you know what, guys? I'm dipping out. What do you want? I'll give you an 8-page Moon Knight story.
Damn.
Well, Hickman left about 400 threads open for every single thing. So, especially
but do you trust any of these? You trust any of these X-writers to do that?
No, I don't.
But what I like with Nick's point, he left it up to y'all, right? So hey, if you want to play with this thread, so that's kind of smart in a sense too. It could lead nowhere, or it could. But again, it feels weird bringing it 4 years later.
I feel like he had this idea and he didn't know how to finish it off. That's how it feels to me.
You think? Or maybe
Robbie, you didn't like 10 Deaths either?
Hell no.
You smoking that
what
shit.
was going on with Moira? So we get a dramatic follow-up to the end of Inferno.
Yeah.
And Moira is all of a sudden in some kind of goddamn cliche-ass action spy.
She's in Bourne. She's Bourne supremacy.
Exactly.
And
I'm just,
Jesus Christ, it's Daniel Bourne.
I just don't. It's hard for me to care. And then they're like, oh, it's a phalanx Wolverine.
I'm not kidding. Don't get me wrong. It's not blowing me away, but it's kind of reignited.
I like it.
And even Duggan, what he's doing with X-Men, I'm more interested right now in X-Men. And Inferno was pretty damn solid all the way through. So I've kind of been hyped up about X-Men recently.
Also, what's dope about 10 Deaths is that they give it room to breathe, man. They give you extra pages, and they don't just fill it up with a bunch of exposition. It gives you nice art, nice panels. It lets you flow through it. And yeah, I think the continuation of Hickman's story, giving it to Benjamin Percy, this might be his big thing. I agree. They gave him Wolverine. They must have thought, man, this guy has got what it takes. You're doing Wolverine, bro.
He started out so hot. I think having the 2 titles fucked him up.
I don't think it was his fault. Yeah, having X-Force too, but I don't think it was his fault because it was bogged down by events that they obligatory tie-ins. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, let's see how he does. This is a whole thing, right? What is it? 8 issues each or some shit? 5 each. So a 10-issue miniseries, maxi series. Maybe. Hey, we'll have to see. We're only just starting with this story, right?
I think that's part of
Big
what
Herm
it is.
says, I hate everything Marvel these days. Not true. Strange Academy.
Bro, hold on. Come on. What was something that just came? First of all, Thor. Can we talk about Thor? Are we in a good transitional point here?
Yeah, let's talk about Thor.
I feel like I like this storyline, and I'm going to find out right now that everybody hates the Mjolnir story.
I'm digging it.
I like it.
I don't mind it. I don't like the way that they visualized I don't like the way that she's she's drawn.
like electro kind of vibe.
Right.
Hate that. Hate the.
She
hate
looks
the art.
flat and wonky.
It looks weird. It's
well,
not
at the
working
end
for
we
me.
figure out it's not really a her. It's really
It's-
this other.
It's a
guy,
combination,
right?
right? Yeah.
Right.
But I like the tie-in.
She's
That was
non-binary. They are.
Yeah, I think that came
she's
out there.
bipolar electricity. No, so
Donny Cates just does fun shit, man. Big and fun, and the art is great, and it's
there's
epic
deep
and
cuts
scope.
too. He's a deep cut
the
guy
Odin,
too. So
the Odin stuff is dope. Yeah, he is a deep cut guy too, especially in Venom, right? He really goes hard for the father-son dynamic and everything.
yeah.
There's a lot of lulls in this run. It started so strong. The first maybe 2 arcs, I think it got pick of the week every week I read it, and then it had a lull. Still, it's kind of climbing up out of that lull for me.
The last 3-issue arc with Bandini on art, that kind of sucked. The Donald Blake arc before that was good, but it was too long.
Was dope.
It was good,
Dragged out.
but it was like 6 issues. It should have been 3 or 4.
What was it called? Prey or some shit?
Great, yeah.
The Throg stuff was okay too. That was just I think a couple of issues.
I like that because he was trying to. That was a nice little throwaway issue.
Hey, let's bring back Throg. It's bar talk. I think Robbie said this before. Donny Cates does bar chat stories.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be cool if we brought Throg back? And just
I
had
like
him in a
Throg's
couple issues?
attitude when he was hunting Donald Blake down in the. He's like, I know you're
Right.
there, and he's like,
He
I
had
know
the
you,
team
I'm
already.
hunting you down right now, and Throg.
They
is
kind
just
of
sitting there.
they kind of told that story in like an Ocean's 11 format a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, as he's getting the team, he really already got the team before the talk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hey, what if Galactus was Thor's herald? What if Mjolnir was its own person? So I don't know, just big fun superhero shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cosmic
It's
shit.
just the one thing with Thor right now. I'm like, okay. First of all, everybody's like losing their minds. They're like, first appearance, the God of Hammers, Mjolnir. I'm like, wait a second. First appearance
I'm
of
not
who?
buying you.
First
Well.
appearance of who? Mjolnir? Like, I thought that was Journey into Mystery. I don't remember. Was it 83 or some shit like that?
Something.
I don't know. But like, anyway.
Yeah.
And then we just had the story by Jason Aaron where they revealed that Odin put the storm, the tempest in the hammer. Well, they reference it, but then they're like, this has always been there, then the evil. But then at the end with the Mangog shit, I'm like, I'm always down for, I mean, that's Kirby. So come on, man. That's fine with me. That's fine with me.
What I appreciate about that book is I had to go back and read the whole, not read, but I read the synopsis on the whole Jane Foster battle with that and why that's a thing. So it made me go back and kind of understand why that was significant, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's
so.
one of those things, Nick, you and I are similar with our like experience with a lot
Right.
of Big Two stuff. And at the end of the book, it's like, here's the big reveal. And honestly, when it comes
Like,
to Marvel
okay.
books, like half the time I'm like, I don't get it. I gotta Google it. So it doesn't hit as hard, but that's just what it is.
Hell
Other than that, it was dope. I loved the art piece where they broke Thor's arm was dope as hell.
Oh, yeah,
That
just
looked incredible.
fractured.
The art's
had
great.
compound
Nick
fractures.
Klein's amazing.
Yeah.
Robbie,
You
I
like-
learned a word from you. Oh, sorry.
what's that?
Decompressed storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
With these last,
words.
I'm gonna use the hell out of it. Well, a phrase. With these last couple issues, if you look at what has happened in Thor, it could have been told in like 7 or 8 panels.
Yes.
Like not much is going on. He's stretching it out, but he doesn't put as many words in it as Tom King does when he
That's
stretches
true.
his ideas out. But sorry, go on.
That is true. I was going to say, Bueller, you had been reading Hulk, right?
I've read the first 3 issues. Yeah.
So I want to get into this then. What do you think about Hulk? Because I'm kind of falling flat on it a little bit.
Really, I probably wouldn't buy it because I'm not really enjoying it. But the only reason I'm buying it is because I'm collecting the run for my little nephew that was born a few months ago, and I want to give him something when he gets older. He'll have it. So that's kind of why I'm buying it. So I'm reading it just because of that.
Yeah.
And it's not, I talked to Donnie about the book before it came out, about what he wanted to do. And he kind of told me what he was going to do and stuff. And I was like, okay. And that sounds interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to like it. And honestly, I don't, it's like, you got Hulk wearing spandex with a jukebox on his head. And I'm like, it's just not doing it for me,
He's got the virtual boy on his
Yeah,
fucking head.
perfect. Yeah, and it just what I wanted from the series was some classic Hulk smash after Immortal Hulk and how that turned the Hulk universe upside down and what they did with that kind of wore thin after a while for me. So I wanted to get back to some more classic Hulk stuff, and then we're not getting that with this Hulk run. And I'm hoping that once he's done with this story arc or whatever it is, then he gets back to some more. We need the classic Hulk, you know. It's kind of like like we're talking about. You guys are talking about X-Men right now and stuff, and there's so much going on with the X-Men universe. It's complicated, it's strange and stuff, you know. And then there's X-Men Legends, and if you just want to read that, just go read that, and you get an X-Men story, and you can read one issue, and you're done. And so it makes it simple. I want a simpler Hulk right now, not all this extra stuff with a 40-foot Wolverine, you know. And
I loved that. It's so stupid, but I loved it.
3 different Hulks, you know. I just want something. I want Hulk to get in a fight and fight during the issue. Then at the end of the issue, he wins, and then he goes to another town and he smashes something. I want that. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I get it.
One of the things I will say real quick is that, and I'm not saying that this is Donny Cates, but I get the feeling that a lot of editors at Marvel and even a lot of creators, they've only been reading comics for like maybe 10, 15 years, right? So maybe a lot of people that are at Marvel right now don't remember the days when that was what the Hulk book was. It was just a monster book, right? And what people remember about the Hulk is all the different personalities. They remember the Peter David work that he did with that, right? And that's great stuff, but to always go to it, like when you have every Thor story be about, am I worthy to hold this hammer? Every Captain America story where he's like, is this country worth it? You know, like, it's like, sometimes you're like, can you just give us some old school Hulk kind of feel, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like everybody wants to do their take on the different personalities of Hulk. And
you know what's crazy too? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say with the Donnie one, so it's like, okay, so there's this like shadow Hulk personality, right? Well, they haven't done that with Immortal Hulk. They haven't done that with Paul Jenkins' run. Like, he's just going to keep being like, but there's been a Hulk personality we've never seen, and it's the worst one yet.
Well, it's like Venom. There's always one more higher echelon we haven't seen yet, right? And we're going to get more into that in Venom here soon, probably.
What's crazy about Hulk is that the big fight takes place in El Paso. What the hell, Donnie?
I mean, it's at least it's a unique story. It might not be classic, but it feels brand new.
Yeah,
but it feels a little stupid, but it's definitely fun.
Yeah. It's not. It's a big Donny Cates idea, but it's not working for me.
I get that.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah.
This whole spaceship Hulk shit, by the way, is so stupid as hell.
I don't get. I still don't get it.
So Banner is inside of the Hulk's psyche, piloting it like a starship, and he's fueling the Hulk with rage.
Hold on. Stop. Let me stop you right. Let me stop you right there. He's piloting it. How? Hulk is literally flying.
Technology, bro.
Mentally. No,
he's got a jetpack.
So the Hulk is in his Hulk out form.
This is inner space, like that movie where
it's inner.
I love that fucking
movie.
It's
not necessarily inner space. Okay, so you know how the Hulk has the psyche, right? And like in Immortal Hulk, we saw all the different Hulk personalities running around in it, right? So Banner has made somehow the subconscious of the Hulk like a starship engine, right? He's trapped the Hulk in an engine room subconsciously.
That's the third version.
He's feeding him bullshit to fuel his rage, to fuel the Hulk, who's in physical form, but Bruce Banner has somehow coerced control.
The rage is the fuel.
Right.
I get the fuel part. So the Hulk with the visor, is that real or not?
Yes.
That's real.
It's basically, he's like, okay, the Hulk's body is like the hull of a spaceship. It's strong enough to travel into space, so we'll just use that as the ship.
And where's
like
Banner?
Inner space, just mentally. That's the best way.
Where's Banner at?
Banner's in the mind. He's
but where's his physical form though?
Well, he's
in the Hulk.
He's the Hulk. Bro. It's like Professor Hulk. It's just like Professor Hulk. Like he's taking over the Hulk's body.
Banner turns to the Hulk. You know that, right?
No, I get that, but I guess it felt like if he's controlling the Hulk. So wow, this is getting a little bit deep now. So he's Banner, but he's transformed into the Hulk, but he's controlling the Hulk from inside of his mind, like a spaceship with this visor on, and he's feeding him these nightmares, almost like a Danger Room scenario to have the rage within him help him keep being the Hulk. Or
so you get the idea that the visor is the element that allowed him to kind of jump into the pilot seat of the Hulk. So he's Hulked
while
out.
He's already literally inside the Hulk, which is the weird mind fuck of that.
It's like inner space.
He's not really inside the Hulk. He is the Hulk.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, because I thought the
he's
same
in
thing when Jeff
control.
said that. I'm like,
It's
yeah,
like
where is
Professor Hulk.
Banner?
It's the same concept, right? Like he's in his normal form.
It's
He's in the
more
Hulk form,
yeah.
Except for the
but
whole
it's
engine
Banner.
room bullshit.
Well, no,
Like,
no, you're right.
they're
I'm saying if you have to explain those the other
is
two
ridiculous.
forms, the Hulk and the Banner part, it's Professor Hulk.
Right. Well,
It
Well,
is
the
ridiculous,
engine room
though.
is just an excuse to do crazy things. It's an
Right.
excuse to put a 70-foot Wolverine in. You
No,
can
hold
go
on. I got
anywhere.
another.
That was Ryan Otley going to Case and being like, wait, what am I drawing? Can
Yeah.
can
no
I put a
kidding.
giant Wolverine in it? Can I draw
So
the
hold on.
whiskers
All
on
right.
him?
Can I rip his arms off and stab him with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my thought, man. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, there have been other Hulk stories though where Banner has been in control of Hulk, right?
Yes.
So this is like that, but with a lot harder of a road to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
It's
say that.
weirder, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
weirder for sure.
It's just
There's a lot
weird.
more explanation needed on how that's happening rather than
And
oh,
he's
Hulk's
got a
big. And,
jetpack, and he's got
Yeah.
the Weapon X helmet, and he's
but where's
like,
he?
what the hell?
So is he flying around places?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
Where's he going?
He's traveling through the multiverse, is what he's trying. Because he's like, I'm done with Earth. I'm going to the multiverse. Then he finds the
Too
one
much.
where they replicated his bomb and destroyed the Earth. That was where we left off.
I can't do it, man. That's too crazy.
It's wild. I mean, and he
That's
went.
crazy.
They said in the first issue, like he didn't have any plans of where he was going. He just
Yeah.
knew that if he didn't know where he was going, the Avengers wouldn't know where he was going, and he was just
Right.
getting the hell away from here
Yeah.
to become what he's going to become, whatever that is.
Eric says
yeah,
Hulk is
Banner's kind of-
basically Hulk is basically Being John Malkovich, but written by Rob Liefeld.
That's great.
But he's so Banner's kind of bad right now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a dick in this one, yeah.
We haven't
Yeah.
seen that in like 3 years.
Well, that was
Yeah.
supposed to be the whole premise that Donnie Cates was saying, that we're supposed to fear
Fear.
Banner
Yeah,
inside
I
of
remember that.
inside of this storyline, more than the Hulk. So
Do you remember the
went over
story
my
they
head.
did several years ago? I don't remember. I think it was Jason Aaron. I don't remember. I think it was the Mark Silvestri stuff though, when he came back to do it. The art was great, but like where Hulk and Banner had surgically removed themselves, and then
Right.
Banner becomes like Dr. Moreau, and he's creating these like gamma mutated, and he's a mad scientist, and Hulk has to go and recombine with him to stop the evil that is Banner. What?
Oh
the
wow.
what? Like, I'm just saying, like, Cates was like, I don't know. I mean, this was Cates really drunk at the bar.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
what if-
That's what
what
it
if-
feels like.
What if Banner piloted the Hulk like a starship?
Like that's how he gets control.
I was like, that's just that's a whole weird bit. Did you read any of these, Bob?
no, man, I dropped Hulk after issue 2. I was like, I'm not going down this road. It was just too out there for me. I mean, look, Men in Black had it right. The little dude inside of the dude's head.
Yes.
Right. They show a scene with Banner all shriveled up inside of Hulk's head. Maybe I don't know. It's just not for me, man. And so I dropped. And same thing with Thor. I think I dropped Thor like 4 or 5 issues back. I was just done with it.
Thor has gotten a little
What?
bit better. It has honestly gotten a little bit better, but
The last two
I'm
have
not
been
saying
pretty
it's going to stay on a path. We'll
How's
see.
the Hulk selling, Robbie, at the shop?
I mean, it sells fine. It sells really well.
You
It's
probably
hard to-
sell out, no?
It's hard to say. Well, we don't sell out. Well,
Hmm.
we don't sell out because I order enough. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, I want to be able to have back stock. So,
Yeah, so somebody could come in and pick up 1 through 3, maybe. Probably not one,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And usually by the time you get to the trades, that's when you stop trying to order extra.
That's true. Then just get the trades in.
Yeah,
You should do a
but,
video on that, man. Just how
yeah, see, like
some of
you have a
those
unique.
ideas. I'm curious.
Robbie's got such a unique perspective on the comics that we don't ever really get to see, man.
Mhm.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Live from the deep.
Yeah, right.
Yo,
yeah.
this is how shit goes down, man. Like shit like that.
But
Balls deep
it's
at the
hard to
deep.
tell what the readership is going to be going forward at this point because it keeps getting these spec bumps, right? And that's the
yeah.
only thing about where speculators really start hurting me as far as my strategy of ordering. Because I'll be like, I sold 200 copies of this, and then be like, oh, that's because everybody thought it was the first appearance. Now I'm stuck with 200 copies of Black Panther, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Now I got this new thing this year. I mean, I'm not getting this stuff digitally like a lot of you guys are. And if it's not resonating with me, or if I'm having to fight,
I'm with you.
read through it, I ain't paying for it, man. So
Not even that. Like I'm not gonna read something I don't enjoy because I'm reading too much shit to be able to continue doing that. I don't know how
Exactly.
Robbie does it. Salute and hats off. My man probably puts in the most books read. I don't know if Nick or Verno got him beat or not, but from what I have seen, Fuck. And my man articulates it and remembers it so well, which I'm always very
That's what
proud
I'm blown
to see,
away by,
Thank
dude.
you.
How do you
Y'all
read
too,
that
guys.
many books and remember them? Like,
Well,
it's
apparently
hard-
I skipped the captions.
Yeah,
That's the
you
secret.
skim read. We learned that tonight.
Yo, but what the hell was I gonna say? I don't remember.
That's only in Supergirl, y'all. I promise.
Oh,
And I told y'all that.
yep.
I heard that people do that for like Silver Age books too, though.
right.
Oh, you
But
can
they
do that with a
skip
lot
the-
of you can do
skip
that with
the
a lot of
thought
Stan Lee
bubbles.
stuff. Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
like, yes, Stan, I can see that clearly. You have good artists working.
I am jumping over the building. Yes.
Exactly, right? Verna, what's another book you want to talk about?
How about we talk a little? I wonder how many of you guys read King of Spies, issue number 2, Mark Miller, Matteo Scalera.
Oh, I did read that. I think
That's
This is
the
a
best Mark
badass-
Millar book I've read in years and years.
it felt like a movie, right?
It's amazing.
Oh my
It's
God.
pretty much, it's like Breaking Bad mixed with James Bond. It's if James Bond found out he had cancer, he has 6
Yeah.
months to live,
Yeah.
and he's going to go ahead and kill everybody that he always wanted to kill the whole time he was out there James Bonding. And it's just explosive, wild, fast-paced art. I was trying to think of some of those Robbie words. Kinetically charged, this art is. Nuanced.
Bombastic.
But no, it's great, man.
Thank
It's so funny. It's so fast paced. They promised us in the first issue, like, he's going to go out, he's going to kill famous people and presidents and politicians. And you think that's what you're going to get in issue 3 or 4. And then issue 2 is just bam, bam, bam. We're killing George Bush on Air Force One. We're getting buck wild, killing celebrity pedophiles. It was
fucking Queen.
It's wild, man.
They killed
It's
the Queen.
wild. Right.
Queen. Yeah.
Well, no, I think they killed the guy that killed Princess Diana, is what they led me to believe.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're killing presidents. They're killing like royalty. They're like, he's going after it. Like, he's like, I know who the real evil people are in this world. And he just, and it's great. It is wild. It's fun. Just like Mark Millar books are kind of always tongue in cheek. And it's always like a movie. What if the movie went this way? Right. Like, what if James Bond, just went full on ham at the end of his life? Right. It works. And Matteo Scalera, he's the artist on Black Science. I've met that dude. My other homie, his name is Robbie. We call him Robbie from Earth 2. He's a Bills fan, so station. But he got a blank sketch Savage Avengers Conan sketch from him. Like, he had Matteo, he was like, I want you to draw whoever you want to draw. And he goes, I want to do Conan. He's like, okay. He's like, I was hoping he'd say Conan. This dude is super freaking cool, man. And a great artist, man.
Incredible.
Anybody else read that?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, we covered it on Verno's. It's great. I will say they did an interesting thing at the end of this issue here. They kind of teased in the first half. So if you guys have read this one, the first page of this is like these 2 wounded warriors that one's like blown, like half their body's completely blown off, and they're kind of in the back of like this ambulance. I don't know if you have a picture. Yeah. So this is the last panel, but in the very, very beginning, you see these 2 characters wounded in battle. And they're kind of like, there's other people around. They have like this other dialogue, like, oh my God, I can't believe, what's happened. These guys are gone. But then you see him again at the end. So the guy that has his bottom half blown off is like strapped to the other person who had their arms blown off.
Yeah.
And so to combine, they're one person. So one's got legs, the other one's got arms, but they're like back to back,
So
some kind of like
ridiculous.
apparatus.
It's like an
And they're
ass backwards
assassins.
Megazord, man.
I like what
Exactly.
you said, Nick. It's like Rocket and the Winter Soldier kind of a.
It's
kind
like
of a
Rocket and the
thing,
Winter
but
Soldier when he's
even
holding them,
more
they're
wild.
spinning. Yeah. So they were like, "Who are we after? Oh, we'll do it for free." As like payback. It's outrageous book. A lot of fun. And we're only in issue 2. It feels like I've been reading this book for a
2
long
of
time.
5 issue Image miniseries.
If Mark can keep this pace up and this interest up, this could be one of his best series since Huck. I think Huck was a really good series. And sometimes Mark's work just, he's just kind of doing his shtick with a different kind of genre or a different movie property or idea. But this one's working for me, man. It really, really is.
I'd say if you're liking this, check out, I've mentioned this before, but check out Magic Order.
I read the first few issues of that.
Another Mark book, really good.
Yeah, I need to.
This book kind of reminded me of Human Target a little bit with the main character.
Right. There's like 3 or 4 men in their 50s with the black top and the sideburns right now, or gray on the side in comics. There's another one I can't think of.
Nice.
Bueller's on his way.
sophisticated
Bueller's on his way to that, by the way. Now that he's got the bus, he's gonna.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't pull a King of Spies on us, man. Take out all the comic book YouTubers.
That's why he's really going on the road.
Dun dun dun.
There's Jim. Gone. Boom. I said, Jim, you're going to be one of the first I visit.
I heard that. I'm gonna be ready for you, though. That's the thing.
Remember that.
Bueller, what's something else you read, man?
I got. You know what? I think I told you I didn't read much, but I got to give some love to so Evil Ernie, which is my first experience with Evil Ernie, to be totally honest.
Same.
And Dynamite came out with their own issue 2. So I picked up issue 1 because the cover looked really cool and I enjoyed it. And then I picked up issue 2 because the cover looked pretty cool because it was the Nirvana homage to the Nevermind album and stuff.
And that baby who's grown up now is like trying to sue them for that now or some bullshit.
Oh, really? I wouldn't be surprised.
The baby from the Nirvana. Yeah, that's really funny. I'd be like, just do cons, man. You'll be fine.
If you want to explain to people what 2022 is like, just tell them that.
Apparently, this isn't the. I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know much about Evil Ernie. This is not the original Evil Ernie from before. This is a different character that's involved. It's like a younger kid. I get the impression he's in high school or college or something like that. And there's a little bit. I really like Scumbag, and there's a little bit of Scumbag in this Evil Ernie type thing. But he has the button. And he kind of gets possessed by Evil Ernie, and then he kills a bunch of people. So I mean, there's bikers, there's killing, there's debauchery, there's sex, and all sorts. It's a perfect book. It's really perfect, and I've enjoyed it. And the artwork is awesome as well. So I don't get a lot of Dynamite books, but this one is on my pull list now, and so I got to give it up to Evil Ernie #2 this month.
Yeah, so to show you there's some scumbaggery Bueller's there.
Yeah, you know it. Right?
Scumbag's name's Ernie too.
I really like Evil Ernie, man. I thought Evil Ernie was pretty strong. I had never read Evil Ernie either, right? No, I don't know any of the chaos stuff or whatnot. I would love to get a hold of that. In fact, like,
so would I.
I don't know if Nick has done an archive of the old stuff or if he can. I don't know what their license is like.
Right, you got to do the omnibus of that shit, the classic material. We need classic Vampirella. Like, well, I don't know. Does that give you the rights to?
They got the Vampirella archive. Dynamite,
but we need like regular omnibus, which I think it was announced. Yeah, that they're doing a boys one, like a traditional omnibus.
Yeah. Well, the Vampirella was a magazine format forever.
Yeah, that's true. So I wonder if you could reprint that old stuff. I would think so, right?
Well, I know he's got it with Vampirella. I don't know about other things, right? So that'd be interesting. Maybe we should ask him since we all know him. Maybe we should actually ask him. But Evil Ernie, not knowing anything about the character, I'm having fun as a horror fan. It's not a book that's taking itself seriously. It's got gore. Yeah, it's got gore. It's got ridiculous, crude humor. It's scumbaggy. I like it.
Yeah, he just kind of wiped out a biker gang last time within a couple pages, took out a whole gang and stuff, and it was fun, because they make it gory. They make the death scenes kind of what was that movie called? Final Destination or whatever it was. They all died in different ways, and that's kind of how they do the death scenes in the Evil Ernie book and stuff. So I like it, and there's a love interest as well. He's kind of a cool cat and everything, so he's definitely doing his thing. So I like it. I was surprised. I didn't know what to expect. I really bought it because of the cover. I thought the cover looked good, and so I decided to read it. And I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fun." Easy book to read. Didn't take very long, and I picked up #2 for the same reason. So I'm on board on this one.
Yeah, man.
Hey, another book with a distinguished gentleman is Newburn.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's a great title, man.
It's good too.
Yeah, those Mad Men types, right? Those like 50s, 60s badass. I'm going through these Bond films, and I've got to get through these Bond.
I tried that once. I don't think I did it, yo.
Man, I've done it before,
at Best Buy, about 10, 15 years ago, Best Buy had all the Blu-rays on sale. I bought them all. I tried to go through them, and I just, I got through a couple of them.
Man, I can't.
Pierce Brosnan ones; those are gonna suck.
Well, I like 3 of those, but I've done this before. I don't really necessarily have a problem doing it. The problem is I'm doing 3 movie reviews a week. I'm doing all this comic book shit. I'm doing shows like this bullshit. Like
Dylan's horror show on Saturday nights.
Yeah,
The
Dylan's
Void
horror show
tomorrow.
All this BS that I really want to do. And then I'm like, oh man, yeah, let's bring the podcast back. Let's start with James Bond. Like, what was I thinking, man? So I've like 2 times had to tell my crew, like, we're pushing the podcast because I haven't watched any James Bond movies this week. So anyway, we're moving on. Hey, what's up, Jen? Comics Will Break Your Heart in the house. She was also on that Saga show that we were talking about earlier over at the Cerebros. By the way, links to all these fine gentlemen's channels in the description below. Be sure to sub up because these guys are fantastic. Bob, what else you read that you want to talk about?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to highlight this one because I've never highlighted it on this show before. I got to thank Damien, Sleepy Reader, for this, but I don't know if any of you guys are reading this, but Yosaki Yojimbo, number 25.
I decided I didn't jump on it when it came back out.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not current with it because I've never caught up. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where I don't know. I feel weird about it. I love that book though. I love it so much, man.
I didn't know if I would like it or not, but he kept showing it on his countdown. It would make number one almost every time, and so I ended up picking up a few copies, and I fell in love with it. You guys know how much I love samurai movies, and one of my favorite samurai franchises is Zatoichi. And Zatoichi is one of the few samurai properties where they came out with a movie and then it spawned 25 sequels. And every single one of these sequels is a complete gem. I love the story. Wow. Love watching it. And reading Yosaki Yojimbo is like hopping into a good Zatoichi movie. It is so steeped in samurai lore, but it's crazy with these animals that he's using. And but I've gotten so into it, and every issue that I've read so far is like that. It's like hopping into a piece of a Zatoichi movie. And Stan Sakai knows his stuff, and I've fallen in love with the title. And so month over month, I'm getting more excited as it comes out. They just came out with one of the side stories, which is the Lone Goat and Kid, which is an homage to Lone Wolf and Cub. But I am absolutely loving this title. I wish I would have hopped on it sooner. It just, because of the cartoony look to it, it wasn't my style. But I freaking love this book. And so month over month now I'm getting it. It's one of the books that I'm most excited to get to a month over month now. It's an amazing read. So
can you jump into it? Pretty much. I saw Damien in here mention you can just kind of jump in anywhere, but like I've never read anything for of that character. So
it's like a Western manga. I read only the Fantagraphics story. There was like a double hardcover slipcase of that, which was great. It's kind of just like this wandering Ronin, right? And he just walks into a town like an RPG game kind of, and he might take a job. And it's kind of got a lesson there somewhere. I feel like it's some shit like that. And it's kind of like lighthearted animal. What do they call it? Anamorphic universe.
Right.
Damn, Jeb with the big word.
Pick up a thing or two.
You don't have to know like his history and his
exactly.
You can just gotta jump in, and it's like anything.
And else. IDW is reprinting the original stuff in color, issue by issue. So here's my copy of the first volume. I don't know if Bob's ever seen this, but this is when I met Stan Sakai, and he did that for me.
Nice.
Yeah, he draws it, and he's the writer. So
this is one of the best ones, man. This dude was big with Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. They were trying, he's still doing it. Like I met him that weekend, and then he was actually walking along.
I said it wrong. Anthropomorphic.
Okay, but he was walking along with us one time to the hotel, right? And he's like a super old man, and when you see him, he feels it's like when you saw Stan Lee towards the end, you're like, oh, he's still doing it. Mm-hmm. He's still doing this book that he started back in the 80s. He's still doing the con stuff. Yeah, he was such a cool dude, very gracious. So there was a price to get a sketch, and I just paid the price to get a signature, and he still did me a sketch.
Nice.
Like he was such a cool freaking dude. And this book, and it's one of those things where I don't read it currently because I never ever got caught up. Like I started reading the Dark Horse stuff, then I was able to get a hold of the Fantagraphics stuff. So I've read a big chunk of it, but Usagi's one of my favorite jams. I need to get more into it.
I would say that it's a good gateway into manga. If you're interested in reading manga, I could see that being a good transition to that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, cool.
Good stuff. Cool, I like, with Zatoichi, that's the way those movies are. He's just wandering on the road, and you follow him where he wanders. And so this is like hopping into a good Zatoichi movie. I love every page.
The comics have like a one-shot feel to them for the most part. It's just like
I would say, right?
Most of them are 1 to 3 issue story arcs.
Okay.
And you can hop into it. I mean, really quickly.
And you can get the old stuff through IDW's Color Classics right now, which they've done 2 volumes of it already. You can get those trades, and the 3rd volume just started this week. I've been picking those up. The coloring's pretty cool. It looks great in black and white. You can still get some of the Fantagraphics ones, I believe, and the Dark Horse Saga, Usagi Yojimbo Saga. So there's the Fantagraphics run, then there's the Dark Horse run, and that was probably the longest. Like, it was at Dark Horse forever and ever. And now it's at IDW. And most people, in at least my age range, our first experience with Usagi was that Ninja Turtles action figure.
Right,
like,
me too.
And I still have that, and it's one of my treasured possessions. I just have the wrong sword with them for some reason.
What about Space Usagi? They had that character as well.
They did Space Usagi because he was they were trying to figure out how to market Usagi Yojimbo as a kid show along with Ninja Turtles, and Space Usagi is kind of what they came up with, because the thing is, it's not a kid book.
Right.
Like, it looks like they're cartoon characters, but
it's not. I mean,
tale.
You could. It's not like too vulgar that kids couldn't read it.
It's not vulgar or anything. It's just
violent. Or violent. It's violent enough where adults can still enjoy it. I think that's what kind of its charm is. And he kind of caught a break with the TMNT stuff, because I would have never known who that character was if it wasn't for that action figure.
Well,
he was in the show.
That's what's so great about Kevin and Peter, is that they were he was in the show, right? They were so into like uplifting creators, right? That they loved. And so they were the ones that were like, no, we worship at the feet of Stan Sakai. Of course, we got to try to bring him in, right? And that's why they worked with Dave Sims when they brought Cerebros in for that one issue, and all.
And also Todd McFarlane did that too, right? With is it Cerebros or Cerebros?
Cerebros.
Yeah.
Well, Todd McFarlane was just trying to make some money and sell some books, right? Hell yeah, he was.
That's all he's ever been about. That's why I love him.
Another one I want to highlight. This book is awesome. Crimson Cage by John Lees, Alex Cormack, and Ashley Cormack. Husband-wife team right there with the illustrating and the coloring. This book's great. It's Macbeth. It's the story of Macbeth, but told through 80s territorial wrestling, right? So it's about a wrestler who gets like the prophetic visions from these 3 witches. They give him a dagger. They're like, you got to kill the champion and you will be the champion. And it keeps escalating, right? So in the first issue, we get that premise. It's all set up, and it was extremely well done. In the second issue, we actually get him doing the act. It's the guy killing the king, right, to become king. And it is violent. It is bloody. It is gory. It is out there. It is horror. Like, oh my freaking goodness. Look at that right there.
I missed this one, man.
It's one of those AWA books, man.
I don't read those, man. Shit.
This book is awesome. What I love about Alex Cormack, and he was the artist on, say, Sea of Sorrows and Road of Bones. He's able to show like people's state of like freaking just insaneness, like through their eyes. And where is it at? There it is, right there. Look at, like, something's wrong with her. Something's wrong with her. She's a little crazy. But I absolutely love this book. It's Shakespeare, but it's not like, it still does all the stuff where at the very beginning that they're doing like the whole like chorus or whatnot, where they're catching you up and they're doing like super gnarly stuff. Dude, the artwork is great. John Lees is great. He does Hotel. He's doing Crimson Cage. He's the writer of Sync. This is the artist and the writer of Sync, which is one of the best crime horror comics out there. Anybody else reading this, loving it?
Hell yeah. He's John Lee's, I believe, a friend of the show, PCP.
Friend of the show.
And Alex Cormack.
Or my bad, friend of the show.
I think it's great. It's one of those, like what I said when I originally reviewed it, is like, if you're a wrestling fan, it's a total no-brainer. But if you're not a wrestling fan, don't steer clear of it just because of that. Like, it's just a good story with, nice mix of horror and all that, fire art. And I was going to ask you guys, because I'm not super familiar with the story of Macbeth. In Macbeth, is it like, because his wife keeps pushing him to do this. He's in a situation where he's pretty much like, he's happy with where he's at. He's the big fish in the small bowl, small pond, whatever. And she's like, no, this isn't enough. I want more. I need more. And it's just that dynamic is kind of interesting that you don't see. I mean, you do see a lot, but
it's in Macbeth.
That's him. That's what Macbeth is. Okay.
And John was on the show, and of course, John's a huge wrestling fan, so all the wrestling stuff is like on the nose, right? Like all the terminology, all the references, and it's from the '80s idea, right? Like during the territorial wrestling days, where there's a champion in the first issue, he comes down and he's wrestling with this one dude. He's like, "Hey, man," he takes him out drinking. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to boost you up. I need someone to follow in my footsteps. I'm going to train you. And tomorrow night, I'm going to go down to you and we're going to start your rise up." But it was all just a sham. And he embarrasses the dude in front of his home crowd.
So great.
And so this is the dude the guy has to kill. So now he's got this going on. He's got his chick in his ear being like, you know what, dude, how about when he finally kills the dude, he becomes champion that night, right? And his wife and him are about to make love, and she goes, "Keep the belt on." And he just wears this fucking like championship belt. Dude, it's like so freaking good, man. So he knows wrestling, he knows horror, and he knows Shakespeare. And he knows, you know, we always talk about how like Shakespeare's like Batman. Like it could be translated into any medium, any era, any genre. And that's what he's doing here, but he's doing it with wrestling and in a truly disturbing horror kind
that sounds
of way.
Good, man.
Yeah, it's so freaking 2 issues out right now out of 5, I think. John's super cool dude. He was super passionate about this project in particular. Oh man, I'm so proud of him. It's such good work. Such good work.
Dope.
Hell yeah. And like you said with the announcer, it's to me that's some of my favorite bits of it when they're actually showing the wrestling matches. And you've got the guy off the top ropes and blah, you know what I mean? The dialogue in those sections, you really feel that classic cadence.
My God, it's a bloodbath. Body all over the floor. My God. A little bit of that, right? All right, we're nearing the end of the show because everybody, remember, keep up with this because at 8:30 tonight, Central Time, which is 40-ish minutes away, we're going live with Joe Corallo for our Patreon members over at patreon.com/PCP. And so we're going to have a conversation with Joe over there live, and then it will be available to everybody else next week. But we're going to record it live, and we decided to let the patrons in just to try to test it out for when we bring back the podcast. So
there you go.
Yeah,
love it.
Really excited for that. So right now what we're going to do is, what did I call it? The rapid fire review, right? So basically anything else that hasn't been mentioned that you think needs to be listed as one of the best comics of the month, run them down real quick. We'll wrap this up. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, let me pull out my list.
He's bagging and boarding his comics, by the way.
What better time to do so?
I know, right?
You get those strange cardboard
Fire Guy
colored.
Ryan does that all the time. I'll see him streaming and he'll just be bagging and boarding comics. And I'm like, that makes sense. I wonder how much Tom's paying him for that.
All right, guys. I don't think we really discussed much of this. I brought it up briefly when I mentioned Todd, but let's just talk about the Spawn universe. King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and regular Spawn. With the artwork and the action, it feels like freaking 90s Spawn. Bringing back the nostalgic characters, whether it's Terry Fitzgerald, Jason Wynn, Priest is Spawn, the Clown Violator. Interesting tying in, I guess closing the loop on what happened with Clown and Violator from Spawn 300 and 301. It's been killing it. And Gunslinger Spawn, I wasn't really a fan of this character before he started getting his own stuff. I was always like, Cowboy Spawn? Like, I don't really care about that much. But I really like Gunslinger Spawn. I think it's my favorite out of all the Spawn stuff right now.
I'm loving the Spawn stuff. That new issue of Gunslinger Spawn with the Clown and the Violator, and they're 2 separate personalities now. Andy's got all these little clowns running around biting people. Kind of like the dark. Crows. Yeah, it's kind of like the darkness with his little like dudes that were running around him. Loving that. One of my favorite moments in comics, in my comic book world this month, was that I went on Twitter and I retweeted, like, Todd was saying something like, "Oh, King Spawn's out this week," and I retweeted and I was like, "King Spawn's becoming a must read." Like, no lie, this book is. When I started liking Spawn, it was all a bit. Like, it was all a bit. Like, I go from hating Spawn to loving Spawn. Let's see it. And I got into that shit, like, for real, legitimately. And now King Spawn is one of my favorite damn comics. And Todd liked my tweet and then retweeted me.
Oh, really?
That's dope.
That's about as cool as it gets right there.
And I was like, that's one step closer to having that fucker on the show. Anyway. But King Spawn has been freaking my favorite, bro.
What issue's that on, dude?
6. It just wrapped up its first arc. If you've only ever read, like most people, the first 10 issues of Spawn, you can read King Spawn. You don't miss shit, dude. Jason Wynn, Billy Kincaid. It's all back to that original stuff, the original purpose of Spawn. They're trying to set him up to be this king, dude. Look at this freaking artwork right there.
Yeah. Yo, when I was a kid, let me tell you this. The Marvel trading cards brought me into the comic shop, but when I saw the shelves, I bought Spawn comics. Those were the books that stood out to me during that time. And man, when I first got my first computer, I printed out a bunch of Spawn images and I emptied out my ink cartridge in like one day, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize this is gonna eat up a lot of ink, and these shits are expensive. To this day, these shits are expensive. Yeah. Anyway, I would just print out Spawn images like that shit. I was hooked on Spawn as a kid, man.
Yeah, it's still capturing that magic. What about you, Nick? Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. I know we talked about X-Men a little bit, but I've been digging the last 2 issues specifically. The first like 5 were decent, but 6 and 7 were really cool. Captain Krakoa, and then Evil Elon Musk. I like that guy. I keep forgetting his name. Vernal or somebody's got to have to.
Oh yeah, that he wanted to terraform Mars first or whatever.
Fei Long.
Yeah. So he's hanging out on the moon next to Mars.
From Street Fighter, right? Fei Long. I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah.
Yo, I got lost on how Captain Krakoa became a thing.
So did I. Oh, I was so fucking lost.
I got we don't have an origin, right? We don't have for Captain Krakoa.
So he just showed up in the book?
Jumbo Carnation designed his outfit because Cyclops was killed very publicly. They're worried about people finding out about the resurrection. So they're like, let's do this. Forge made his outfit. That's why he's flying around. Forge and Jumbo Carnation.
Right. But they just revealed that this week.
Right.
That's why I was so confused in issue 5. I was like, what's going on with Captain Krakoa?
Well, in issue 7, they explain more about Cyclops' death and how it all works and everything. Yeah. So, but I think the last 2 issues are really, really great.
7 was great.
Yeah, 7 was good. Keep going on with the rapid fire. Not all robots. The last issue number Robbie 5, was not too bad at all. It was very different than the other one because we're in a completely different setting. We're outside the city bubble. We're exploring kind of the wastelands. So we have our family that we kind of grown and gotten used to, and they're kind of out on their own, and they're meeting up with some rough guys out there and stuff. So it is going to set up for a volume 2. Really, really interesting. I really did dig this one here from Russell and Diodato Jr. And then I've also been liking DC versus Vampires. I think this was issue.
Really good.
4.
I thought I wasn't gonna like it. It's great, man.
Yeah,
I liked issue 4.
Issue 4 is pretty good. It is a little bit. I mean, Batman's in this book, and he's a little bit. He's the detective we all know and love.
Right.
I like the dialogue between him and Green Arrow in here. I thought it was like.
How does Ollie sneak into the fucking Batcave? By the way.
Well, they made a whole bit about it, right?
I'm just saying, like
they're like the alarm goes off, and they're like, "Oh,
that's
so I'm
not going to happen." That's
like issue 2. Issue 2 was a little out there with evil Green Lantern. I think it was issue 2. But 4 felt right, man. The great interaction. That fight was great. Both finding out that they're not vampires at the same time.
Why'd you shoot me with holy water? And he's like, why are you trying to stab me with a stake? It's like, wait, aren't you? Yeah, that was really fun. So I've been digging that series, and it's 12 issues. Though. I wish it was maybe like 8, but whatever. Hotel was fun. We kind of touched on it a little, maybe here and there. Hotel was actually a good read. Issue number 2 brought me back to the vibes of volume 1. Yeah. Issue number 1 was pretty cool too, but we've had conversations before where I think volume 2 might suffer from us trying to put the puzzle together before all the pieces are there, because now we know the tricks of volume 1. And we understand how interconnected all these different rooms and people can be. And so I find myself like reading this book trying to like pay attention to all the weird things going on in it to kind of like
that's why I like in issue 2 of volume 2 he leans into it like crazy.
Yeah. And so I feel like I'm looking for that in these issues, but I didn't really find a whole lot in this one, which I thought was pretty cool. But I've been digging Hotel. So if you're not on that, we talked a little bit about Human Target. Needed a cold shower after this one.
Now you did it. You've taken everyone else.
Great book, man.
Falling in. Hey, this is called the rapid fire round. We go through all the other books. So we go ahead and look at all the Ice in this one was beautiful. I love all the art in this. The story's great. The dialogue's great. I like
Blue Beetle was funny.
Blue Beetle was hilarious doing Blue Beetle stuff. And I just love it. It's a great story. And Smallwood is amazing on the art. I love Tom King's writing in this one. I like a lot of Tom King lately.
Yeah, me too.
Which makes me want to read Catwoman and Batman. I didn't pick
It's great. I love it.
He's great, man. He's one of the best writers out there.
And
I don't care what Robbie says.
Hey.
I
just
feel
kidding.
like
I'm
a lot
just
of people
kidding.
either love him or just hate him. But I mean, like,
Tom King, I mean, to me, he's a little hit or miss. When he hits, he hits.
Right.
When I don't like it, I don't like it. Like Rorschach, did not
Same.
fucking like that shit.
That's pretty common.
What was Vision was good. I don't want to go down the whole list, but
Vision's
he has
great,
more.
Omega Men, you know.
He's got more hits than misses too, though.
Yeah, Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle, yeah.
Mr. Miracle, yeah.
For sure.
But
He's
I
writing a lot, dude.
I
He
didn't
writes a
like
lot.
I just didn't like the end of Strange Adventures because I actually like Adam
Yeah.
Strange. So I didn't like
That whole
him being
series was a
kind of
little.
villain.
Dude,
That whole series was a little lackluster.
I saw an interview with that artist, and that artist admitted, like, I fucking hate Adam Strange. He's like, I always have. And he's like, once that series started going, he's like, he talked to Tom King. He's like, we're not gonna make him the good guy, right?
Which one, Mitch or Doc?
You know what? I don't know which one it was.
It's like John Carter of Mars, yo.
But I loved it, and I liked the ending too because I don't care about Adam Strange. Who the fuck is Adam Strange?
I don't
never heard of him.
Remember the ending. I think he was the bad
read
guy
a
all
fucking
along.
comic book, Verno, that was made before 2020. How about
I
that?
work on it, dude. I do. Most of the older books I read are Marvel because I got Marvel Unlimited.
No, that's fine. That's
right.
Fine. I'm just messing with you, man.
Well, and the last book I'll bring up is Daredevil, Woman of Fear, another book that I just picked up because I was interested in her, Zdarsky stuff, and I was digging the character, and it was actually something that kind of surprised me, and I'm not mad that I read it. So
that was good.
I like the way it ended. I like the art style in here. I like the character.
Well written how they depicted her, and like from her point of view, almost, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it's just all about her, and I love the little reveal villain, struggle that she's going to have to kind of overcome at the end of the pages there. So a pretty cool book. I liked it.
Oh yeah,
nice. Evil Face Bad says, anyone read manga? Any manga you can recommend? I know that Jim's going to recommend Berserk.
Yes,
I'm going to recommend anything from Junji Ito.
Ooh.
Like I'm diving into his work for the first time and loving it. So
read Akira is a classic, holds up to this day.
Yeah, we're actually doing a comics revisited of that coming up very soon. So
dope.
Very excited. All right.
Death Note is another good one to throw out there. Attack on Titan. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we're good.
Ghost in the Shell. And Brooks says Battle Angel Alita. So there you go.
That's an amazing one.
And Lone Wolf and Cub.
Always.
What about you, Verno? You got anything left after Nick went?
No, man. No, I'll just kind of repeat it at least. Like, I agree. Like these Duggan books, Pepe Larraz. If Pepe Larraz is doing art, like it's worth a pickup. And he's rejuvenated me. Inferno came out this month, so of course that's one to. It was pretty dope. I was
going to talk about it. Was that the last issue, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had a little bit of issues with the Moira McTaggart stuff, but other than that, it was fire. And no joke. Everything I was going to say, Nick said. These covers are ridiculous. The art is ridiculous. And Human Target. Talk about classy. Dialogue heavy.
The interiors are classy on Human Target.
It's a great way to put it, man. Yeah. He put up a Twitter feed talking about his process.
That was the sexiest issue of the month. Fuck this. Saga was showing
Saga
us
was
everything.
Saga was the hustler, right. And Human Target was Playboy.
Playboy, exactly. Perfect. And dude, just the colors in this book are crazy. You like these lettering. It's the same lettering you see on the front, but the characterizations of they're going to all these lesser known DC characters and investigating them month to month. And they're also funny, man. Booster Gold was hilarious in the last one. I forget that Green Lantern's name, but he was hilarious. It's a funny book. Yeah. It's a funny ass book, dude. Tom King, he's got a way of like even Supergirl. Supergirl's a funny title. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's got a little wit to it. Yo, that the guy, I liked the depiction of Guy Gardner. I love Guy Gardner, and I know you're not really supposed to.
Right.
But I loved it. I could see maybe some people having a problem with that. I don't know if that was an issue or not.
Plus, him and Ice were a thing. So,
no, it makes sense.
Right?
But he's like the jealous ex-boyfriend archetype.
He's
but it
supposed
works
to be kind of a douchebag.
He is an asshole, yeah. So,
right.
So you like him at the same time, like you're saying. You're like,
right. But no, man, no, that's it, man. It was I don't think it was I'll tell you what, we got spoiled in December. I think December was like the best month of 2021.
Was it? I don't really remember. Man.
For me, it was banger after banger all month long. January was okay, but it wasn't. There was a lot of I don't know. It was kind of tough for the first few weeks to pick a pick of the week. For me, it was kind of hit or miss.
It strengthened in the last half because if you notice, our stacks are getting bigger because they're catching up now from the paper delays.
Is that what it is? Because I'm
feels like a
like,
lot
damn,
more.
I thought
we
I was
got 2
cutting
issues
down.
of Frontiersman this week, and we had an Ice Cream Man last month and this month.
And a lot of
When's the last
Spawn
time that's happened?
the new Spawn books coming out. I
Yeah.
thought it was because holiday
catching up.
time it slowed down, and it was
Yeah, they're
getting,
catching
now
up
we're
from that
getting
paper
influx.
shortage is what's going on. But
Nice.
some people are still being hit by it. Fantagraphics, Vault, Aftershock, but Marvel, DC, and Image, they're back. They're fucking back in the swing of things right now, man. What about you, Bueller? Anything left that you want to talk about?
Well, Jim already hit on the Spawns. I'm really big into those. Obviously, the Scorch came out this month as well, with teaming up with all the different Spawn characters. So I'm excited to see where the whole Spawn universe goes. I've been on it for a while, and just to see all these books hitting, and they're all after issue 1, they're all at the $2.99 cover price, and they're
Great paper quality.
Yeah, paper quality is awesome. The covers are great. You know, it's cardstock.
I started picking them up physically, even though I was getting them digitally. I'm like, no, I want to collect these runs, man. Fuck
yeah,
it.
me too. That's what I'm doing as well. I'm buying all the covers, and because I want to support a $2.99 book, to be totally honest.
And it's hard to pick between those covers sometimes, man.
And I saw Todd. He might have said it on Tom's interview, like, yo, he chooses to keep it at that. He could raise it.
Yes.
He's like, but I don't want to dig too deep into the fans, man. Like, if I can skate by and keep it the same, yo.
And it's like, I get that Marvel and DC should know what they're doing, but not only is Todd doing it, but this Saga issue, by the way, double size, $2.99. Like,
yo, that's crazy. But I mean, it is a little different. They're their own properties, right? And Marvel is like everyone's playing with a licensed property, and it's different.
Well, they sell a lot more units, man. They could do it. That's what Todd.
I personally think that I think Todd does it on purpose to kind of stick it to them.
He always kind of sticks it to them no matter what.
Definitely
right?
does, Bueller.
For Jack Kirby type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so
for all the artists that didn't get their just due or get their pay back in the day.
They didn't even give him a fucking copy of the T-shirt, man. They didn't even. His dad got a watch.
Next month's Saga's $2.99 too. So I think that they're sticking with that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And I love Marvel and DC, but you got to love Todd's sticking it to him with success, man. Shout out to Todd McFarlane.
Hell yeah.
I like some of the Wastelander books that came out.
Those were great.
I enjoyed the Wastelander Wolverine, the Wastelander, what was it? Hawkeye one, I think it was.
Yeah, Yelena Black Widow was one.
I like the Star-Lord one. That was good.
Old Man
Hawkeye is so crazy in that universe, right?
Yeah, so I enjoyed those. I really enjoyed it. They're little one shot. They all kind of tied in together, but they really didn't. They're just kind of one shots each issue. So those are kind of fun. Then this one I just got, Space Cadets, more of a kid's book, but I just wanted to support Jonathan Hedrick, a friend of mine, and his new book out from the Scoot label from Scout. It's about a little boy who wants to be an astronaut. It's kind of fun book. The art style in here is really interesting. It's almost like a watercolor paint, and it looks really cool. It pops off the page and stuff like that. So
nice.
Read it. It's nothing. It's like I said, it's a younger kid's book, but I mean, it's fun. But yeah, that's about it. That's about really all I read this month was just those Wastelander books. I don't think I read much of DC besides the Swamp Thing, and then the Spawns, and then this one right here. And that's really about it.
Nice.
They're all worth it though, Bueller.
Yeah, I enjoyed them all. So I didn't get any bad, except for the we talked about the Hulk. I'm not really into that, but that was really the only one that's kind of a stinker for me. And I'm not reading Thor anymore either. I kind of dropped off on that one as well. So
it's picked up a little bit, but mostly just this new stories. Well, it's all right. It's because Nick Klein came back with the art, and everything.
Yeah. I can see why people dropped it. I mean, it's I still love the first arc so much. It's keeping me going, I guess.
Right. There's that prophecy too. The prophecy with the Thanos, with the hammer, and all that. Like I want to see
still
that.
Lingering. Just at least tease it again. Like, I mean, come on.
Right.
I feel like they did reference it recently.
I think they did too. I think
one
even in
time because he says, "I have dreams every night because of a vision I had."
Right.
Shit like that. Yeah.
And I do want to say that every Wednesday when I go to the comic shop, Robbie's reviews on Tuesday nights help me out because I mean, even though I'm not reading as much as I did in the past, I mean, like the Crimson book, your review on it sold me on the book, so I wanted to buy it. So I was like, "Hey, can you guys put that in my box?" And I bought it. And I have it. I just haven't read it yet.
Oh, awesome.
So there's also every week when I go there, I always check out your reviews the night before. And if it's a good review and stuff, I'll try to pick it up. And I think you missed out on the Curse of the Pirate Girl. That thing is awesome.
Well, my buddy Mike told me he just put a copy in my box for me, so I'm going to check it out this weekend.
It's a beautiful book. Damien brought it. We had coffee last week, and he brought it, and I was like, "Oh, I remember seeing that book, but my shop didn't get any." And I was just flipping through it. It was just amazing looking book, and I think Bob picked me up a copy, so now I can get one. But if you guys haven't picked up that book, get it. It's Cursed Pirate Girl. It's like a $10 book. It's beautiful. It's not really a comic book, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the one that's like the coloring book thing, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words, Bueller. I really appreciate it, and thank you, Damien.
No, for real. Yeah, Rob, Robbie's gonna read it, and he's gonna have read all them shit. So, no, for sure, man.
I'll definitely read that one. And if you're having a problem getting it, I'm pretty sure my shop still has some. So just reach out to the Deep Comics and Games on Facebook, and we can get you hooked up. Bob, what else? Yeah. What else you got for us?
So there's some other things. I don't know if you guys hit on them earlier when we weren't on the show because of our mess up. But one of the ones that tied up this month was Warhammer Sisters of Battle, Warhammer 40K Sisters of Battle. If you're a Warhammer 40K fan, this was a great story. My son and I play Warhammer 40K, so it was really nice. Really good. Another one that I'm surprised that I keep liking this, but Jed McKay keeps completely surprising me. I'm really digging the current Moon Knight.
Hell yeah.
Month over month, I'm like, I'm not sure if I like the Moon Knight in the suit and the whole works, but every month he keeps surprising me, and I really love his writing, so I'm going to stay on it. Pretty cool,
fun book.
Yeah, it really is.
Me.
Also the Scorched. I thought that was a fantastic, bringing those characters all together. Another one that I thought was okay. I mean, it wasn't anything that wowed me, but I'm still on The Maniac of New York. The Bronx is Burning. I really love the artwork and the colors inside of this. It's really not wowing me as like the first arc did, but it's starting to gain some traction. I don't know if you guys read this one or not by Busiak, but Aerosmith. Came out this month. I didn't get to read the original storyline, but I love the premise. I love this book. I can't wait to see where it goes. Heck of a lot of fun. It's basically World War I with dragons and magic, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, the first series is really good. I think you'd like it a lot, man.
I'm definitely gonna hunt it down. You guys know me. I love my Canto 3. The latest issue of Lionhearted was absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see how that ties up. And of course, I agree. The Woman Without Fear, I really dug that issue. I thought it was pretty cool. The more the backstory on what's going on with her. And then I think my favorite title month over month right now is Nightwing. I love this last issue of Nightwing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Freaking amazing. Tom Taylor's doing an amazing job with that title, and I absolutely love it. So that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I know I read more, and I didn't get my books this week, so I haven't even read Saga yet.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So good. There's a penis in it, though.
Can't wait.
There's boobs, though. There's boobs. It makes up for that penis with a lot of boobs.
Yeah. Okay.
In typical Saga fashion, it gives you tragedy. It gives you a little bit of wartime. It gives you a little comedy. It gives you a little...
Is this like Batman Dan penis type style, or were you doing
like? No, we get like
way different.
You have like a horn on it or something like that.
This one's like a hard-on penis, man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I love it. 'Cause there's like all this exposition. They're like, oh, you know what? While we're explaining this, let's just have these two characters bang. Like, that's a great idea.
And like position change and like
so funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just love it because of the whole female ejaculate bit from our Saga recap, and then in the first issue back.
I'm done.
You lost me a female ejaculate.
I don't know. Bueller's like, you got any Saga back issues, man. Anyway,
right.
my rapid fire. Cowboy Bebop was really good. I love the anime. Never watched the live action show. This is an awkward position to be in for this book because it's a comic book adaptation of the live action series. Not an adaptation because it's just set in that world, but it doesn't matter. This just reads like a great Cowboy Bebop comic book by Dan Waters. And Dan Waters, someone we know, friend of the show.
Yeah,
yeah, he's so good at his use of language, right, and making things deep and resonant or whatnot. This is just a great, solid Cowboy Bebop story in which he is focusing on the rhythm, him and the artists, where you can, like, if you watch Cowboy Bebop, so much of it is driven by rhythm and music, right? That comes across in this comic book. It's amazing. Regardless of your thoughts of that live action show, if you like Cowboy Bebop, read this comic. It is really good. Speaking of Dan Waters,
just really quick, Dan Waters. I mean, if he doesn't give us the last issue of the whole painting story,
picture of everything else.
2 issues left.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2
what
issues.
the hell's
still.
up with that?
I don't know, but when the White Noise crew goes over to Vault, they are late as shit. Like, why? Where's Dark Interlude? Where's Giga? Where's Picture of Everything Else? And where is Radio Apocalypse?
Oh, radio's killing me.
We'll see.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
But speaking of Dan Waters, he can get his image books out on time. We got Homesick Pilots kicking off its next arc. Didn't skip a beat. Didn't even waste any time. Didn't even skip any time. The cliffhanger ending of the second arc gets picked right back up on here. Amazing stuff. If you like giant robot kaiju monsters fighting each other, think of that, but with like ghosts and haunted houses.
It's the
weird.
most difficult book to explain, in my
It's good.
opinion.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of ghosts, there's that one ghost book. I like that one too.
The Meet You Love in the Dark?
Yeah, it was ghost sex. I like that.
Mhm.
Yes, I mean, I did too. All right. Ice Cream Man 28, didn't wow me like a lot of the other ones did, but I did like this about how the use of language, the way we tell the story to ourselves and to other people affects our life. So I did like Ice Cream Man this week. I thought it was pretty solid. Primordial. If they kill this goddamn dog, I'm going to be so goddamn mad. This book makes me care so much. I really fear like they killed one of the monkeys, and I'm in a panic mode about it. But this book is amazing. It's gone in directions I did not anticipate. And Andrea Sorrentino's artwork. And Verno, I know you didn't like it. Man, I love this new issue of Department of Truth about the Mothman and the Smiling Man. It does that bullshit that I hated in the Bigfoot issue, where they do that kind of shit, where it's just like reading it.
It was a novel.
But this one worked for me. First of all, I could actually see the fucking words. So that was cool. But
Right,
the
it's a
art
plus.
of the Mothman, it's creepy. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's tying it in together with the UFO stuff, the bridge tragedy in West Virginia at that time, and the Smiling Man, which is one of the creepiest like urban legends and myths I've ever heard. So that's my rapid fire right there. Thank you all for joining us out there in the chat. And thank you all for joining us. Real quick, what you got coming up? Show us where to find you. Jim Mint Collectibles, what's up?
Jim Mint Collectibles. Also, man, much of my time has been taken to selling comic books over on Whatnot. Bueller had mentioned them earlier. So you saw me bagging and boarding. It wasn't even my personal stuff. It's just stuff for the next sale. So that's been really fun. Over on my channel, we're doing statue reviews, weekly comic book reviews, omnibus reviews, and live shows, man.
Booyah.
Nice.
I had my daughter on for the first time ever, the other day. That was
That's
fun
great.
as hell.
That's awesome.
She's actually, she's about to be out of school. She's like, I think I want to start doing videos with you. So
That's awesome.
start doing, hopefully, maybe she'll do manga reviews,
Dude,
manga
that's cool.
statues. She collects manga statues. Maybe she'll do that.
She starts her own YouTube channel. She's already
Or I
gonna
help
be
her.
past all of
yeah.
us. And
Right.
That's what I was saying. I would help
Guaranteed.
her start her own if that's the case or whatever. So
That's awesome.
and she draws. She's got published stuff through Dynamite. So we're working on more of that stuff.
Yeah, she did the Red Sonja cover, right?
She did the Invincible Red Sonja one. She got another one with them that should be an in-store cover actually, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I hope she's got a good cover rate, man.
Yeah, right. And then we got another one we're doing like an exclusive. I'm trying to get her to finish it for an exclusive variant. Something unique. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. Speaking of unique, what about you, Nick? Where can we find you? What's coming up?
Yeah, Nick Comic Culture on YouTube and also on Instagram. So I work real close with my LCS, and we do new books that are coming out and new toys and things like that. So I have a video that comes out every Wednesday, along with poll videos. Nick at Night, my weekly review show, comes out late on Friday night. So I show you the books that I picked up, show you what's out that week, and I review them at the end of the week. And then on Sundays, occasionally I drop some kind of like how to get into comics, different topics. I tackle from everything from like selling books to organizing your collections and things like that. Just a bunch of random topics that might help new people kind of get into comic books and navigate this crazy landscape. And I'm mixing in a couple lives on Sunday mornings as well, but just kind of stay tuned to IG and I'll tell you what's coming out and when it is.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, NFT
Thanks for
Nick.
having
We
me.
really do appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
All
the
right.
whole VV NFT thing is crazy. So,
All right. Yeah, Nick's got his own NFT coming out too of his reaction to Human Target this week. So that's cool. What about you, Verno? What's coming up on your show and where can they find you?
Well, we mentioned the Saga episode, so Saga's kind of hot right now. So if you missed that, go check it out on the Cerebros. Again, Robbie, Nick, and Jennifer from Comics Will Break Your Heart. Other than that, pretty much on Sundays, I have a conversation with somebody. A lot of times it's Nick. It might be Robbie. I've had Bueller on with Bob. I've had Mr. Jim Mitt on. So we get together. We talk about the best books of the week. This week, because I got a new job and everything's in the air, they don't even know it. But I'm putting out an episode that I recorded a couple weeks ago. I'm putting it out early. I got Big Herm on. I got Fable. And I got Steph. I got a third of the Bad Batch. Nice. And we get together and we talk about like the best books, like the book that we were obsessed with when we were a kid. So I'll just say mine is X-Men 25, Wolverine getting his adamantium ripped out. And we just go around talking about the books that we were obsessed with. So yeah, keep an eye out for that on Sunday.
That's awesome, man. Bueller, what's going on with you, man?
Well, as most of you guys all know, I have a channel, Comics with Bueller, and stuff is changing on a daily basis on the channel. That being said, Coffee and Comics show is coming to an end. We have 2 episodes left. We'll have one this Monday, and then episode 150 that will be the Monday after that. So make sure you watch those. It's been a lot of fun. 150 episodes. Bob's been on about 100 of them, and it's been a great series. So it's kind of sad coming to an end, but with stuff coming to an end, there's going to be new stuff.
New chapter
coming your way. New chapter. Exactly. Going to be traveling on the road. Going to be doing a lot of just going around and meeting new people and interviewing and hitting comic shops and basically bringing my channel to your front door. Not through the TV screen, but through actually me knocking on your door.
That sounds threatening.
That's a warning.
And, a warning. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've partnered up with Whatnot. They've really kind of making this happen as far as the money wise goes, because it's not cheap. So thank you, Whatnot. Looking forward to being on their platform and doing some auctions on there. And speaking of auctions, I'm going to do a little mini auction this weekend on my channel. Probably like an hour and a half. I just I had some lots I was going to sell when I had Dynamite on last week. I just didn't get to them because we ran late. So I want to make that up and sell the little. I have a short box of books I'm going to sell. So this probably Saturday night I'll have a little auction, and then next weekend Bob's going to be selling his stuff, and he can tell you about that here in a little bit. So, but yeah, stay tuned. Comics with Bueller. A little bit of the old, but a lot of new stuff coming. So
nice.
Word.
Thanks for joining us, Bueller. It's always fun catching up with you. What about you, Bob? What's coming up? Where can they find you?
Well, my channel is Everything Comics, and I'm not doing anything that's consistent here lately. I'm just putting out videos as I can, and I'm completely okay with that. I'm just having fun right now. Some of the things you're changing on my channel, I'm getting away from doing so much of the weekly reviews. My collection is starting to change as far as the way I collect comics, and I'm kind of showing that off. And then I'm also showing off my journey in my coloring stuff. And so I'm going to be
awesome.
posting
That's cool, man.
videos on my journey on coloring different superheroes and these tons of coloring books that I have. And so that's going to be really cool. Of course, you can also catch me on Instagram. Every Friday, I post a Kung Fu Friday, which has been a lot of fun, getting a lot of traction on that. And that's something I'll be doing on my channel going forward is about once or twice a month, we're going to do Kung Fu movie reviews. And I'm going to have a cast of characters with me going over some of the best Hong Kong flicks ever made. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, like Bueller just said, I'm buying a house. And one of the things about that is financing has not gone through like I thought it was supposed to. And so I've got to come up with some money for the repairs. And so next weekend on Bueller's channel, I'm going to be auctioning a bunch of stuff from my collection and hopefully make this place really nice for Mrs. Bullseye to move into. That's my goal. And so please come on over there and join us and help me out. I'd really appreciate it. Buy some books.
Hold on, Bob. So let me get this straight. Bob, you're buying Bueller's house?
Yes.
He sold you a busted ass house, man.
Are you stealing his set now? Is now your set?
No, I hear my wife in the background. She's like, no.
I think that set got broken up.
That's totally true, Bob. You are taking some stuff.
No, I am taking some stuff, but I'm not taking that set, bro.
I thought
that
some of that set got busted up and turned into the Bueller bus.
It did.
Oh, okay.
You'll see it on Monday because we're gonna use what's left of the set to film the next copy video.
You could have just like spray painted like an X through Bueller's name and put like Bullseye Bob or something like that.
Get it up.
That'd been great. Everybody check out these wonderful gentlemen's channels. There's all links in the description below. I'm assuming that most of y'all have subbed up to these fine cats, but if not, check them out. Here on the channel, like in 6 minutes, join us if you're a Patreon member. You can join over at patreon.com/PCP. I'm having a conversation with Joe Corallo. That's going to be great. And then that will be released later on. Coming up here on the channel, first of all, over at Dylan's Horror Show, we're talking about The Void this Saturday night. I watched this the other night. It sucked. So I'm really excited to have a conversation about that. And then Monday night, join us for PCP movie night because we're doing Small Soldiers, which I rewatched last night. I loved that movie. It was so stupid. That movie's so stupid, but so good. The Void is just stupid.
I was going to watch that right after this, so thank you.
Dude,
Maybe
I need you to watch it because I got to have backup, man. Because I know why Dylan likes it, but if y'all like the contention between me and Dylan last week from the Scream 5 review, just wait for this one because
did Dylan get a new place or what?
Yeah, he's living with his girl now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I saw in the background. I was like, where's all the shit?
Yeah, his mom's keeping his posters and toys and shit, I think. Dylan, we love you, man. Anyway, Dylan is teasing on being on the Small Soldiers video, but I'm going to hurt him again this weekend, y'all. Yeah. I'm sorry, The Void was not good. Had great practical effects, man. Verno, you might like it. I don't know. You like the Deaths and Lives of Wolverine, so I don't know. I'm questioning you, bro. I like
Scream a lot more than you liked it too.
I know.
So we'll see.
I don't know, man.
Well, most people did.
Anyway, also Rockin Robbie Live on Sunday night, going through another Kung Fu movie. Bob's been keeping me going on this journey. Thank you so much, Bob.
Like the RZA.
I just watched The Invincible Shaolin. That was one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen. Damn. The more I think about it, I'm putting this up on 36 Chamber Shaolin and Hero, man. Like, out of everything you've let me watch or told me what I should watch, that one hit me hard, dude. I just love training sequences. I love the egg bit. That was great, man. Because I've done that before. It's like, I can just eat eggs. No, you really can't. Okay. You really can't. Anyway, if you're on patreon.com/PCP, join us in just 3 minutes, but it'll probably be 5 because I go take a whiz. We're talking with Joe Corallo. Join up if you haven't already. You'll have access to the show. We're dipping out. Y'all, thank you for joining us.